Hello and welcome to another Frenchman Learns About Japan reaction stream. And yeah, today we have a couple videos that interested me. First about the Joker politician, next about Japan during Japanese ads in Hollywood, next about Japan most evil doll, and then video about Nico Nico. Should be interesting. I think that's all we'll watch today because they're all pretty meaty videos, and depending on how much I have to yap, which is always kind of hard. I think that's probably like one of the hardest thing to plan a stream like this. Like sometimes it's a 30-minute video, but you know I'm learning everything and I don't have much to comment on, so you know I just add 5 to 10 minutes to the video. But sometimes like you know if it's like an anime video or something, I might talk even more than the length of the video. You know, it's always a bit hard to plan, you know what I mean? But yeah, as always, link to the videos in the description. Check them out, check out the original creators, of course. Timestamps as well if you're watching the VOD. Link to my Discord, one way to follow me and share stuff if you wanted to. The link to my stream element and Patreon if you wanted to follow me, support me. You can donate and get reward. What else? So yeah, I was gonna say, I want to share it on different streams this week at least. I made a top 100 anime opening videos, like a personal one. I was really happy with it. It took like 3 days to make, a lot of hours. I uploaded it yesterday, but then I woke up today and I got a copyright strike. I don't understand. Like, ton of people make anime top videos and yeah, I don't get it, but whatever. So I can't get it on YouTube, so I put it on Bilibili, my old Bilibili account. I'll give the link if you're interested. Why is it so long? It doesn't need to be so long. You can cut this out. And this. Here's the link. So yeah, it's a top 100 videos of my favorites. There might be a lot of stuff you haven't thought about, and I think it would be cool to watch it. If you don't have a Bilibili account, it will only be in 360p. I think you need an account to put it above that, but again, at least on Bilibili, it didn't get deleted, so you know, there is that. But yeah, otherwise, let's watch some videos. What I can say. So the first one is one I was looking forward to because I always really enjoyed the subject of Japan analysis. And so this says Japan's right wing is imploding because of a literal clown. And I think we might know the guy because in some other video about the NHK party guy who was crazy, he mentioned the Joker guy, I think. So let's learn about this and see how crazy this is. Let's do English to Japanese. As always, if I have some GP viewers, which I should, since again, 58% of my viewers are like from Japan. Let's get into it.
A few months ago, YouTuber Tyler Oliveira went to a kebab shop near Tokyo to investigate Japan's Muslim problem. The owner kicked him and his crew out, but Tyler kept filming as a crowd started to form. Then, this happened. Okay, but why are people brawling in the streets over Muslim immigrants in a country that's 97% Japanese? Well, right-wing anti-immigrant sentiment is surging in Japan right now.
I mean, in every country. But every time I write about Japan, like, except if I'm wrong about the stat, which I think were like incredibly little, right? The actual, what's the word for it? Not tourists, but the actual, like, you know, living there, immigrants, it's so little compared to every other country.
And nobody has ridden that wave harder than this guy, Kawai Yusuke, one of Japan's most hardcore right-wing politicians.
Et le soul, c'est les noms.
違う人は私も嫌です。日本の政治は純粋な日本人だけが発信していいものだ。核爆弾を撃ったわけでもないのに30万も殺せるわけがないだろうってどこの日本人が。
Yusuke is one of the loudest anti-immigration voices in the country, but just 2 years ago, he wasn't anti-immigration, he wasn't even right-wing. Yusuke was, well, you know what, it's better if I just show you.
Yeah, so this is this guy. We definitely saw this guy in the video about the NHK party guy, yeah? Like this guy was one of the joke candidates or something in the Tokyo election, maybe it was.
So how does a man go from dressing up like a clown to becoming the face of Japan's anti-immigrant movement?
I mean, sounds like a clown in both cases. Just a classic, crazy politician person who just switch totally their belief if they can get power in politics, right?
Well, buckle up, because this story involves a citizen's arrest gone wrong,
a Japanese rap battle. Yes. In anime, I guess. I think in Palipi Comedy was one, and in Detroit Metal City, there was a metal versus rap battle, so if that counts. Also in Kaguya-sama, yeah.
a sex scandal with an Egyptian TV star, and an ancient curse. That last one will make sense later, I promise. But the craziest part? Yusuke single-handedly pushed Japan's right wing into civil war. Feuds, betrayals, enough litigation to fund a small law firm, and as you're about to see, the man who started it all believes in absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
this is how Japan's right wing got hijacked by a clown. So let's start with the question I'm sure is on everyone's mind. Why does he dress up like this? Well, surprisingly, Yusuke graduated from a top university and was actually a lawyer before he put on the makeup. Oh, sorry, I misread that. It actually says here he was a failed lawyer.
Oh,
I'm not trying to demean the guy, it's just, he's kind of like SpongeBob, you know? He failed the bar exam so many times that they refused to let him take it anymore. So.
I didn't even know there was a thing. Like, they can stop you from even taking a test because you're so bad.
At the age of 40, Yusuke, in his midlife crisis, decided, like many failed
Is that Floyd Mayweather on his shirt?
lawyers before him, to get into politics. The only problem was, Yusuke wasn't very charismatic or funny, he sucked at public speaking, and he didn't have any political instincts either. So kind of like that annoying friend that everyone has, he would just say the most outrageous or offensive thing at every opportunity just to get attention. That's why he started doing this. Frankly, this is pretty half-assed. Like, if you're gonna become a joke politician, at least come up with a new character instead of
Can't Bean's face is pretty good.
just putting on a middle schooler's Halloween costume. Plus,
Goto Teruki is a pretty crazy politician that NHK had to mute most part of his political speech. Damn. Yeah. Frankly, I don't really know any Japanese politician. I mean, I don't really know much politics. Like, the most politics I know is the US because it's always in the news. So, like, you kind of know about it even if you don't want to, right?
half the time, he's also the mask? Like, huh? Buddy, can you stick to
Sanae
one
Takeuchi.
character? Okay, so the last time we saw Yusuke was in 2024 when he was running for Tokyo mayor under
Shabukicho.
the meth and legalized polygamy platform.
今回私が訴える政策は一夫多妻制です。以上です。記者会見終わります。
During that campaign, his most notable achievement was getting censored by the government for this tasteful campaign poster that I can't even really show here, where his head is situated between this young lady's legs.
Okay.
Now, of course, he didn't win that election. You would have known that because you would have heard all about Tokyo's clown mayor if he did. But losing did something to Yusuke. He didn't want to be a loser anymore. This time, he was going to wipe off the makeup and become a serious politician. But believe it or not being the Joker would be the biggest mistake Yusuke ever made. It all started when he packed up his entire life and moved to Toda City in Saitama Prefecture, which is basically the Florida of Japan. And I'm not...
Saitama men accused of breaking into sleeping men's home for 700 yen. Saitama men arrested for calling police 2,000 times in 9 days to yell at them. The Florida of Japan. Alright. So where is the Ohio of Japan? Are you for multiple husband and wife? I mean, I didn't even know polygamy was illegal. It's the kind of thing where, like, if it's grown adult, I don't care. Like, I don't think it should be illegal, right? I mean, relationships are a mess anyway, so whether it's like, you know, like one partner or not, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Someone might say it's because, I guess with polygamy you have more chance of like abusive relationship, right? Like a guy who abused multiple women to be with him or something. But it's the same with like single person relationships. So I don't know, I think polygamy should be legal. I really don't care. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
saying that to insult Florida. I'm just...
Ex-plumber arrested for stealing public toilet valve in Saitama say he did it 80 times. What? He stole valve?
Saying that, you know,
Saitama police chief arrested busted for stealing toilet paper? What is going on in Saitama?
Saitama kind of sucks. So
Saitama police continue to piece together men's naked rampage spanning 3 cities. What are those titles?
why did he want to live there then? Well, as it turns out, he had one very specific reason in mind. And that reason is Kurds. He was going to run for council there, and the Kurds would be his golden ticket into office. Now, if you're not chronically online enough to know about the Kurds in Japan, let me catch you up in...
One person making many children cause unconscious... Oh, yeah. You mean like incest by accident, because people don't know they're related? I guess so, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what used to happen with all the kings and, you know, all that. You know, they had so many, like, wives that they would, you know, have, like, 20 children, 30 children. And after many generations, yeah, it would become pretty bad.
30 seconds. The Kurds are a group of people from here. There's about 3,000 of them in Japan as refugees, and most of them live in one here.
Wait, so it's not a nation? It's between Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and Armenia. And Iran, I guess. So it's like maybe an ethnic minority? Interesting.
There's about 3,000 of them in Japan as refugees, and most of them live in one city in Saitama. Now, Japan is super strict and does not approve their asylum, but they can legally reapply as many times as they want. They're in this limbo where they can't legally be deported, but also can't.
Is that why he's mad? He couldn't keep reapplying to the lawyer bar, but they can keep reapplying. Is that why he's mad?
Can't legally work, so they get paid under the table by other Kurds. Everything came to a head in 2023 though, when a feud between 2 Kurdish families escalated into a 100-man brawl on the street, and that was the spark. Despite no evidence that Kurds commit more crime than anyone else, a movement to deport all of them caught fire overnight. But what was Yusuke gonna do about it? I don't know, and neither did he. He mostly just posted a bunch of videos of Kurdish guys hanging out in this alley, writing about how scary they were and how they were making Japan unsafe. Look at them, smoking, illegally within 100 feet of a subway station. And I'm not cherry-picking these clips either. Every time he posts some Kurds, it's always these guys smoking in this alley. And by the way, this alley isn't even in the city where he's running for office. It's in the city next door. So he's complaining about some guys who aren't even on his turf. But somehow the Protect Warabi's Alley platform fucking worked. And the Joker won with the most votes in history. Yeah, not 1 year after being the meth and polygamy guy, Yusuke got elected to a city council on a platform of safeguarding Japanese culture. This win made Yusuke famous and put him among the top Japanese right-wing influencers.
Fifi. Osokawa Valentine. Ken Kenobi. Okay. Kurds are said to be bad on the internet, but I'm doubting because media often deny specific people like Chinese or Korean. I don't know. I mean, he said there's only 3,000 people, 3,000 Kurds in Japan. Like, that is so little people. I mean, that's so little people.
Basically the Avengers of anti-immigration. There, he'd meet his right-wing Harley Quinn, a lady who would change his outlook on life, Fifi.
Fifi.
Fifi is a widely popular star on Japan's anti-immigration right. She's also, and brace yourself for this one, a Muslim immigrant from Egypt. Yeah, she's like super famous, she's always on TV and stuff. Actually, she's got this nickname, the Pharaoh's Chosen One, which sounds kind of majestic until you realize some variety show just called her that because the only thing they know about Egypt is this.
Yeah, of course.
But don't get it twisted. Fifi is not some upstart like Yusuke. She's an OG. Where Yusuke's out there chasing trends, blaming everything on the Kurds and the Chinese, Fifi's...
She's not a big star, but I've seen her on TV.
old school. She blames the Koreans.
日本へのネガティブキャンペーンを続けている韓国が気持ち悪いのは当然として、日本の国益と名誉が傷つけられている。
And Fifi's always saying like, there's nothing wrong with us Muslims. Muslims aren't the problem. The problem is Pakistanis.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I was literally about to say it's very likely that she is herself like, you know, against another, you know, group from the Middle East, and that's why, yeah, it's like we're the good one, they're the bad one. I mean, again, this is just the world we live in. Just people always have a stupid reason to hate someone else.
どの国から来ているのかというと、その多くがパキスタンなんですね。我々エジプトのような世俗主義から見るととても異質に映るわけです。
Despite these massive differences, Fifi got along just fine with Yusuke. Better than fine, actually. They
crazy, I guess.
Quickly became best buds. They were doing live streams together and hosting rallies together. Isn't it heartwarming to see an anti-Kurd guy and an anti-Pakistani chick put aside their differences? It's like one of those videos where a dog becomes best friends with a pig. And things were about to get even better for Yusuke, from the last place he'd expect. You see, unfortunately those Kurdish guys had stopped hanging out in the alley, so Yusuke ran out of content. Instead, he started doing nightly crime patrols in his neighborhood. One night in July of 2025, he'd find the content he was looking for. Yusuke spotted some Kurds hanging out in a convenience store parking lot, one of whom was apparently peeing in public. Yusuke, in some sort of citizen's arrest, tries to bring them to the police. Then,
Citizen's arrest. There's no bad people as their nation, but as their personalities.
Yusuke got grabbed and put in a headlock. Afterwards, he posted this picture of himself in a neck brace and a doctor's note saying he had a bruised arm. But Yusuke was acting like he'd survived the Battle of Helm's Deep. This was the jackpot. I mean, he got the perfect clip. The Joker gets roughed up by some Kurds. Oh, what's that? They're actually Nepalese, which you didn't admit until a year later? Don't worry about that. I'm sure your fans won't notice. Regardless, the incident went extremely viral, and Yusuke began building a large following of people who looked up to him as the anti-Kurd guy. He became the face of the whole...
But again, like, how many people care about this? You're telling me there's 3,000 Kurds in Japan. Like, I mean, who cares? It's so little people.
Movement. However, this was a huge problem for him because, as we've discussed, Yusuke has no idea what the f he's doing. A year ago, he was still putting on the makeup. In fact, when he was the Joker, he ran on a pro-immigration platform.
愛の力ということで、動物愛護の問題とか、LGBT と差別の問題を主に訴えてます。
So,
I mean, he's basically doing what, again, many politicians do, right? I mean, I think the biggest example in modern history is Trump. Not that I'm that deep into politics, but like, he used to be like on one side before his first term, like 10 years ago, whatever. But then he basically totally switched side, right? And again, politicians do that all the time. They just go to the side where they think is gonna make them popular and get them like the money, the fame, the election, you know? Can't cure illogical people.
Maybe because Yusuke knew people would figure out he was a poser if they did like 5 minutes of research, he tried to act super patriotic. He started wearing the Japanese flag as a cape. He started saying shit like the Nanjing massacre is fake, or that Japan has to preserve the emperor's sacred.
That's kind of like the line, I mean. That should be like something that gets you in prison.
Y chromosome. At one point, he got so mad at his liberal debate opponent, he demanded he say he loves Japan and sings the national anthem on the spot.
日本愛します反日じゃありませんって一言言ったら終わりじゃんそれで。
そんなことは当たり前じゃん。
君が歌うよよ二人で。
And this is when Yusuke started to fuck up. He was saying so much crazy shit that even other conservatives had a problem with it. The first one to speak out was Hosokawa Valentine, a half-Japanese former boxer turned conservative influencer who released a video calling Yusuke a fake conservative. Hosokawa really didn't like that Yusuke basically hijacked the movement and was now like rage-baiting people for clicks instead of trying to get anything done.
I mean, again, yeah, it seems like Yusuke is really taking the book of French-style greeting. The book out of like Western politics, especially US, right? Like, you know, being the most over the top as possible and trying to get as your supporter the kind of people who literally don't care about like checking anything, you know? They just need something to hate and to follow, right? And it's kind of surprising that he's even trying to do this. Yeah?
Which is basically what Yusuke always done. Of course, when that got back to Yusuke, he didn't like it one bit, and he had some choice words to say about impure Japanese people voicing their opinions in Japan.
外国の顔してる人間に日本の政治語られたくないんですよね。もう見てて無質が走るんですよね。黒人の顔してるやつにもう日本の政治語ってるの見てるだけで私はイライラくるんですよ。まあこんなん言うたら差別的やってなるかもしれんけど、血が違うんですよ。血が違う人は私も嫌です。日本の政治のことは一切発信しないでください。
It's like the most basic, straightforward racism possible. Like, there's no nuance to anything. He's not even trying.
気分が悪いです。日本の政治は純粋な日本人だけが発信していいものだ。
But it's not even a thing, right? Like, people don't have different blood. I mean, it's not even a thing, right?
They're gonna call me racist for this one, guys, but people with different blood make my skin crawl. Like, buddy, yeah, that's called racism. So, wow, he's gone full Draco Malfoy.
It's really like, also like, it's, you know, it's like such a stupid point, right? I mean, the guy could be like, you know, arguing with the points that the Hosokawa guy made, but no, it's like, I don't like, you know, that is a black guy talking about Japan politics, right? Rather than just saying, you know, like, your opinion about this or this is bad because of this or this, right? Like, it's literally not even a point. I mean, like, even someone who doesn't live in Japan, if they have, like, an opinion about Japan, you should tell them why the opinion doesn't make sense and explain why it makes sense to you or something. I don't know. It's that simple, but yeah. Like, there's no logic in what he's saying.
Boy, now, I mean, it was only a matter of time. But here's where his viewers asked him an astute question. Aren't you, like, best friends with Fifi?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
病気だと思うんですよね。精神的な病気なんじゃないかなという気がして、あまりにも二重人格すぎるから。
Wow, that's a pretty harsh thing to say about a close friend and political ally.
Change his
I wonder
mind.
what possibly could have transpired between them. Yeah, they were sleeping together. They were obviously sleeping together and she dumped him. I mean, look at this guy. He just oozes bitter ex-boyfriend energy. But okay, let's be fair to Yusuke for a second. I mean, nobody looks good when their dirty laundry gets aired in public. Like, who amongst us hasn't gone on a full-blown racist rant against our ex after a messy breakup at the age of 45? But Yusuke's fans were surprisingly tolerant. Well, not tolerant of Muslims, but of Yusuke having sex with one.
But again, like, you know, like, you see stuff like this all the time, right? And while this guy is a joke, and I'm guessing he doesn't really get far into his political career, look at Trump, right? I mean, his wife is literally a foreigner. I mean, she got eventually, you know, the paperwork done and all to be in the country, right? But, you know, his worst thing is like, get the immigrant out, arrest the immigrant, deport the immigrant. You know, it's so, like, those people don't do what they do because they believe in it. They just do it because that's what pleased their stupid supporter, basically.
But from here, Yusuke would make 3 massive mistakes that would land him in hot water. Now, I had to watch a lot of random Japanese live streams and dig pretty deep to find this lore, which isn't easy unless you're a fluent speaker. And that's where today's sponsor, Migaku, comes in. When I first started learning Japanese, textbooks
some half of foreigner, I heard that some half of foreigner ate bad people of them and became right-wing because they can't afford to be seen the same as bad people. Maybe.
bored me to death, but making the leap to real anime and dramas felt impossible. Migaku basically solves that problem. It's a browser extension and app that lets you learn from stuff you'll actually want to watch. Like, I'll be watching something on Netflix or YouTube and I hover over a word I don't know, I get an instant explanation and one click turns it straight into a flashcard with audio, image, and everything. There's even a photo feature so you can snap a picture of a manga or a menu at a restaurant and study straight from that. If you're a total beginner, they've got entire courses starting from hiragana and building all the way up to advanced grammar. And they just launched a feature that recommends reading content matched to your exact levels, so you're never stuck wondering what to read next. I'm always trying to improve my Japanese, and I've incorporated Migaku into my everyday studying. It's just that convenient. It's even got pitch accent, so advanced learners will know exactly how cool that is.
That seems pretty useful. Like, it puts katakana hiragana above the kanji on a site, so like if you can't read the kanji, you can still read in hiragana katakana, is where you can learn Japanese and English reading jump manga. Interesting.
Just that convenient. It's even got pitch accent, so advanced learners will know exactly how cool that is. And one subscription covers every language they offer, so you get Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Spanish, you get everything. Plans start at just $10 a month, and with my link in the description or pinned comment, monthly and yearly plans come with an extra month free. Or you can grab 50% off a lifetime subscription with all languages included.
I've only ever tried Duolingo for
it's the best deal they run. Now, back to those 3 mistakes Yusuke made. The first one was that he could not stop crashing out. You see, Hosokawa didn't escalate his feud with Yusuke, and he called a truce, probably because he knew Yusuke loves to make drama. Even Fifi shut up because she knew better.
Don't feed the troll. Yeah. You learn English by watching me. Is that true? I mean, I feel like your English was good even before you started watching me. I mean, yeah.
Better than to provoke a guy who just spent 3 years living as the Joker. But Yusuke seemed to be taking it pretty hard because we're 5 months out and Buddy is still posting about Fifi almost every day. He's saying she hates Japan. He's saying she's only mad at him because he wouldn't marry her. And of course, he had to share this embarrassing live stream where, well, for some reason she was in a restaurant yelling, "Dick, dick, 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 dick." Yeah, I seriously don't know why she's doing this, but eventually one of her friends comes over and tries to get her to cut the stream, but she still refuses.
Like you.
Yeah, this is embarrassing, but even more embarrassing is a sitting city councilor making AI remixes of it and posting it to his YouTube channel.
Okay, but that got 100,000 views though.
But Yusuke really did not know when to stop because he started trying to get his fans to contact the sponsors of Fifi's shows to get...
Is that Kitaro? No.
her canceled. Like, bro, can you fucking relax? You're supposed to be the civility and Japanese values guy. Did I sleep through the harassment campaign chapter of Japanese culture class? Months of crashing out like this would lead Yusuke into making his second mistake, which was becoming friends with this guy, Ken Kenobi. Ken is a right-wing YouTuber who is even more into anti-immigration rage bait than Yusuke is.
I'm honored to die for my...
I mean, because YouTube, yeah. Like, on YouTube it works even better.
My country, I'm not gonna fucking give my country to any foreigner. We are fighting against these people because we are not gonna give my country to anybody. No Mongolian empires, no Spanish, no Kurds, obviously.
Now, I'm just gonna say this off the bat. Ken is not the brightest guy. Like, here's his brilliant take on the Fifi situation.
Oh, he's a kick streamer. I'm not even surprised.
いう人種自体がアラブ人曰くよ、アラブ人のもう血は熱いらしいね。普通の会話からさ、うわー、うわー、って酒入ってなくてアラブ人ガーってくね。酒がマジでなかったらこうなってないから。
But what's wrong with Ken being an idiot? I mean, most of the people I cover on my channel are idiots. What's the big deal? Let me explain it this way. Every friend group has that one guy who always wants to do something really stupid. And it's not normally a big deal because when that happens, everyone else is just like, I don't know, that sounds dumb, and it blows over. The problem arises when you have a second idiot who goes, dude, that sounds like a great idea, but you know what would make it even better? Thereby creating a feedback loop that inevitably ends up in a police report or a YouTube prank video. And that's the problem with Ken and Yusuke becoming friends, because one night the two lads were were streaming drunk at Yusuke's birthday party / political fundraiser. And while they were busy talking about how foreign women are trouble and Japanese women are better, a half Russian woman sat down beside Yusuke.
Again, I mean, it's always like that. It's kind of like politicians were like anti-gays, but then it turned out, there was scandal where actually they were gay or something. It's always like that. Politicians and people like this who want to be famous, like so many of them that are so over the top like this, it's so obvious that they don't believe in what they say, right? I mean, this guy acts like the most anti-foreigner, but if it's a cute girl, I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
寄ってみますか。
ちょっとだけね。
僕とジョーカーとどっちがいいですか。やっぱ中東を通った方がいい。
Dude looks like your dad.
っていうことですか。
But Ken warns her, Yusuke has the Pharaoh's curse.
ファラオに呪われるって言ってますよ。ファラオに呪われるって言って
呪われるよ。興味ある。
虫が走るって言ったらもう。
でも可愛いはええよ。
いや可愛いもん。
あれですよ。チャラいですよ僕。
女性を大事にしてくださいよ。
Yusuke is so out of pocket here that Ken's chat starts calling him a liberal.
俺はリベラル。俺はグローバリストや。
The night ends with Ken getting.
I really can't imagine like watching people like this. I know I do reaction videos on YouTube, right? I don't do the highest level content, right? But I'd like to think it's a bit better than this. What right-wing means. They want Japan locked again, like Edo, or absurd foreign culture, like Meiji. Wars like in Showa. Yeah, I have no idea what their platform really is. I mean,
plastered and accidentally calling some girl he's trying to flirt with mom. Looks like he too got the Pharaoh's curse. Now, all of this is pretty funny, but this would also be the night where Yusuke would make his third and final mistake, which would be the worst one by far.
Hopefully he doesn't try to grape someone.
You see, somewhere in this drunken stupor, Yusuke mentioned a brilliant idea. Yeah, he really fucking did this. I mean, maybe it was the Pharaoh's curse, or maybe he just really didn't want Ken to think he liked her. But on April 21st, emboldened by his string of good decisions recently, Yusuke took Fifi to court for defamation, threats, and for sexually assaulting him. I want to be clear, obviously all assault claims are serious and should be investigated, but that's exactly why Yusuke's next move is so weird. So I tried to see if he had any evidence of this alleged assault, right? Well, apparently he does have evidence. He's just put it behind his YouTube membership paywall. I guess instead of discovery, Fifi's lawyers can just pay him $7. Fifi, on the other hand, has released plenty of chat logs of them being all lovey-dovey with each other and photos of them amicably together at a Korean restaurant on the day after the alleged assault. I also want to point out that this is...
Wait, wasn't this Fifi anti-Korean? What is going on with these people? They don't even try. The guy says, I hate all foreigner, but then he sees a cute girl and he's like, well, she's fine. She says she hates all Korean, but she goes to Korean restaurants. They don't even... It's the worst thing about it, right? That their followers are so stupid, right? Those people don't even need to hold themselves to the shit they're saying. And yet the followers are still following them and believing what they say, France politicians, I mean, they're pretty bad too. Trust me. It's not, I don't follow closely, but, it's not good either. Yeah, especially not these days. Definitely the same problem with, immigration, right? The politician being more all the foreigners are the problem, rather than talking about, some of the other problem that led to, the way the system is not working, etc., etc., etc. I mean, I'm not too deep into it, but yeah.
This is a civil case, like there's no police involvement at all, and none of the parties have been investigated or questioned by the police. Look, I know most of you have already come to a conclusion about what happened here, but I just want to come out and say I don't know what happened here. I'm not implying anything. I'm just showing you guys the facts. Now, it's unclear how this lawsuit is going to go because, I mean, it's Yusuke. He's the meth and polygamy guy. He's got some skeletons in his closet. The first shot came from Suzuki Nanako, a
Wait, a VTuber? There's a VTuber involved in this.
right-wing VTuber who apparently used to work in Yusuke's campaign, only to turn against him after learning what happened to the women who work for him. Now, you may want to grab a scone or something because the tea is about to be spilt. So on March 27th, Suzuki released an interview with a half-Russian, half-Japanese woman named Layla. According to Layla, she applied for a mysterious position at Yusuke's company in 2020.
There's a country with people are all immigrants. There won't be any of these arguments. I mean, yeah, but how does that even work, right? I mean, I guess maybe like a country who conquers another country and kill all of the original population, then I guess they're not immigrants anymore because, yeah. I mean, technically they are immigrants, I guess, yeah. It's complicated.
22. However, once Yusuke told her that the job was an NHK fee collector, a pretty shitty job, Layla immediately backed out. But the next day, Layla says Yusuke called her again to offer her another mysterious position. He wanted to talk to her over dinner. So they go to dinner, and of course Yusuke never mentions the job. He just immediately tries to take her to a love hotel.
Of course.
I think you can see where this is going, and yeah, they went. Now, you might be wondering, did she at least get the job? You know, the job that she came for? Well, Layla says he texted her saying, sorry about today, and she took that to mean there was no job. So flash forward 3 years, and according to Layla, Yusuke, now a city councilor, reaches out again. And this time, he doesn't even bother pretending he has a job for her. Instead, he just acts nice.
Maybe. I mean, there might be a few, but I don't think it's a popular thing, though. Yeah, I've never seen one, or heard about one.
And pretends nothing happened, like he thinks she just forgot or something. But eventually he gets her to agree to meet up on the condition that they actually date this time. Now, Layla says the first thing Yusuke did was take her to Don Quixote to buy lube, but he wouldn't go in because he was too afraid of being recognized, you know, because he's like super famous. Next, he took Layla to his apartment, and when she got there, the only things she saw were a desk, a computer, a pile of campaign flyers, and a bed with Mr. Joker lying on top of it, buck naked, on top of a plastic sheet. According to Layla, Yusuke is sitting there on the bed reading adult manga on his phone while Layla hops in the shower. In the shower, she discovers that he doesn't even have shampoo in his bathroom, he just has hotel soap. Oh, and 3 bottles of lube, of course. And then right as they're getting intimate, Layla says Yusuke tried to record her. Bro, this sounds like it's out of a fucking horror movie. And the worst part is, this horror movie has like 15 sequels, I guess, because immediately after Layla came out with this interview, Fifi came out and said this is almost exactly what happened to her. Down to the bottles of lube and hotel soap.
ベビーローションを置いたりですね、ベビーローション、犯罪者なんです。盗撮されたんです。盗撮をいびられてるんですよ。ずっと長い間、何ヶ月も。
Now, according to Suzuki, this wasn't one weird story. She says Yusuke has a pattern of doing this with his campaign volunteers.
I mean, is it even surprising with the way he was acting while drunk? Is it even surprising?
And prospective employees. He's like fucking Dennis Reynolds, except at least Dennis Reynolds has the courtesy to take him out on his boat first. So, the Joker's reaction to all of this coming out was to call Layla a hater and then threaten to sue her for defamation. And of course, he also filed a lawsuit against Suzuki Nanako, the VTuber who did the interview. So you got this traditional values guy, this city...
Where does he even get this money again? I don't get it. Like, his whole campaign is to be mad at 3,000 curd. He can't have that many followers, right? Where does he get this kind of money to do stupid, like, lawsuit like this?
Councilman who cares about Japanese blood purity above all, but he can't stop having fucking liaisons with half foreigner women once in the middle of a fucking live stream where he's rallying against immigrants. Like, that's what kills me, that most of the leaders of Japan's hard-right anti-immigration movement are the worst representatives of Japanese culture. Like, take our friend Ken Kenobi, for example. Ken's parents sent him to Malaysia for 2 years to study English, and it paid off. I mean, his English is really good. He's an actual global citizen. I mean, Japanese parents dream of their kids speaking English like Ken. But let's be honest, his English is the entire reason he has an audience. People watch Ken because he's one of the few Japanese YouTubers who can speak to them in English. His multiculturalism is his content. And before he started ranting about the globalists destroying Japanese culture, he made videos about doing push-ups and weird spiritual life advice. Much like the Joker, he loved multiculturalism before becoming an influencer. And much like the Joker, he realized he could get way more views doing Western-style rage bait like this.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. All of us.
Do you live here?
No. Visiting.
Visiting.
Yeah.
A woman should walk one step back from a man.
Do you not have that in your country?
Not really.
You know, man has to be the leader of the house. Wife has to support husband's back.
Yeah, no, we're independence. Yeah.
But independence will destroy the society. You know that?
Oh.
Because
It's like, the guy is not even trying, right? I mean, this is some of the most basic rage bait kind of thing you can say, right? Yeah. I don't even know how people watch this kind of content.
I did it! Yes! I told you, they're woke.
They're woke as fuck. Liberals are evil.
What the f does this have to do with Japan? Like, do you see any other Japanese guys with megaphones screaming at tourists? Ken is literally just repackaging our culture war slop.
Right, I mean, from what I know of Japan, like, this is super rude, right? Like, being this loud in public, filming your video, filming people, you know, screaming in a megaphone. I mean, none of this is, like, a good representation of, like, you know, the culture that the guy says, you know, he is protecting. You know what I mean? Like, is the opposite of what's good.
Into Japanese.
Yasmin, go subscribe my channel.
No surprise there.
I love you, Yasmin. Yes!
Even Ken's name is so Japanese that it came from a fucking Hollywood movie. Ken,
Yeah.
You are the globalist. You are the foreign influence trying to reshape Japan. I mean, you're just doing an Andrew Tate impression and calling it preserving Japanese culture.
呪いです。フェミニストは呪い、呪霊、呪物です。
What do these guys even want at this point? Do they want to expel all the immigrants from the country?
I mean, I think it's as simple as fame and money, right? I mean, even though I don't get it, I'm guessing they get enough of it, right? Like, from the crazy regular people who believe in all this, you know, they probably, like, get enough money to keep doing this craziness.
Even the ones who are there legally? I remind you, Japan's conservative government gave these people visas to boost their economy. Even the Kurds are not a real issue. I mean, Japan already changed that infinite visa loophole back in 2024. Like, okay, you guys don't want Kurds, but you already got what you wanted. Do they want no immigration whatsoever? Or are they ethno-nationalists? In that case, isn't it a bit ironic that the #1 defender of Japanese blood purity keeps getting caught trying to sleep with foreigners?
Oh, it's literally, like, on brand from people like this.
Really, I don't have a clue what these guys want, other than more clicks and views and notoriety online. Which brings us back to where we started. Ken and Yusuke picking a fight outside of the Kurdish restaurant they've just been thrown out of, fully convinced that they are the heroes in this story.
じゃなくて、一人がやったことはみんなのせいにしないよ。クルド人はやってるのはもちろんすごい悪いよ。こちらもクルド人として恥ずかしいのね。でも一人がやったことをみんなクルド人は同じことをやって。
Is saying, like, the most reasonable thing that anyone has said in this video. Like, the most basic thing that everybody should understand, right? Like, 1 person, 2 person, 1,000% do something bad. Those people did something bad. Like, if your first thought is that, you know, this person is from this religion, this race, this country, and this is why they did something bad, I mean, that shouldn't be your first thought. Your first thought should be, this person is bad. I mean, it's that simple.
てるわけじゃないでしょ。日本人も同じことやって日本人みんなやってるわけじゃないでしょ。同じこと。犯罪は日本人、トルコ人、クルド人、ドイツ人関係ない。犯罪は犯罪。いや違う。国関係ないよ。いやある。
What do you mean 違う？
By the way, this guy's the owner of that restaurant, Happy Kebab, Tefik Tash, who has been legally living in Japan for over 20 years. And you know, in 2024, when there was this massive earthquake in Noto, Tefik and some other Kurdish volunteers drove 11 hours to go and feed the evacuees. Apparently,
Not surprised. Japanese people estimate themselves as a good, kind, moderate people. These people are in contradiction, lucky we are narcissists.
they made korba, which is this lentil and vegetable stew that actually looks really good. But for the evacuees, they made it special with like 0 spice so that everyone could eat it. They ended up providing around 5,000 meals. But when has the Joker or any of these guys ever done anything that actually helps other people? These guys will never do anything that doesn't directly benefit themselves or grow their brand.
That's why you need to stop talking about that. I mean, even this video anyway, like, this video is probably going to blow up in some way, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? On one side, this is exactly what they want. You know, any good publicity is good publicity for people like this, right? So they're gonna be happy about it. They're gonna make response video maybe. You know, it's gonna like feed them. Though at the same time, you know, the point of this video is to expose those terrible people. So like, you know, like there's not much you can do, right? Those people won't stop, and the people who are supporters of those people are like too stuck in stuff like this to change. There's not much you can do about it, you know. As always, like, people of this age being like this, they're just too far gone already. As always, the most important thing is to educate kids, right? Like, you know, in school, make sure kids don't become racist. It's that simple, because, you know, when you're already an adult like this, I mean, it's probably too late.
Because frankly, that's all that they've got. They're not creative or funny. They were complete losers and failed influencers before they found their calling as a guy who blames everything on foreigners. There's a reason they can't get along with anyone. I mean, even people who are 95% aligned with them. The only way these guys can succeed is by saying the most provocative shit and pissing off as many people as possible, which is why this clip really surprised me.
My way of thinking is like, okay, powerful people try to make us fight each other on the battlefield when we love each other. They do propaganda, oh, Japanese are demons, Japanese are like fucking crazy people, they're like evil. And they spread the news in Japan, oh my god, people from the other continent is so evil. They try to like fight each other, punish each other for their benefit. If we fight, that's a lose for everybody.
Ken, that is the smartest thing you've ever said. And you know...
like... something tells me someone else told him to say this, because, yeah.
No, I feel like you legitimately believe it, and not the other stuff you say. Don't waste your potential rage-baiting people online, Ken. You could do so much more. I believe in you, man. And as
redemption arc would be great.
As we catch up to the present, Yusuke still hasn't slowed down. In March, he showed up at the Kurdish Annual Festival, a celebration with food and music. Regardless of what you think about the Kurds, this is a wholesome, family-friendly event with like kids and stuff, and Yusuke went there for the sole purpose of disrupting it, to make content. That's like something Johnny Somali would do. Well, Yusuke got punched. Again. This went extremely viral, of course, and only helped him. But things haven't been all smooth sailing for Yusuke. I mean, Buddy is currently in an insane amount of lawsuits against so many different people, it's almost as if he wishes he was a lawyer. Not only that, it seems he's frantically trying to scrub the internet of all his old clips, especially the one where he comes off as super racist. I mean, he even threatened to sue Hosokawa Valentine for
I mean, again, like, with all the shit he said, you know, it should be very easy to, from what I understand Japanese law, to sue him for defamation with all the stuff he said himself.
Posting it. But yeah, his follower growth is slowing down, which might be because all he does is post about Fifi, and recently there have been anti-Yusuke protests in his own district. People are marching outside with signs calling for his resignation. I mean, you can win all you want on the internet, but when your citizens are rallying against you in real life, people start to notice. This whole time, Yusuke's MO seems to have been that all attention is good attention, and he might have to learn what happens when that stops being true. He might have removed the face paint, but everyone can still see that he is a clown. So yeah, that's the story of the Japanese Joker. And hey, with this video, I think we've completed the trilogy: Tachibana, Hezuma, and now the Joker, the 3 most famous troll politicians in Japan of today, and we've covered all of them. Which also means, unless something insane happens, I am done with politics videos for a while, okay? So thank you guys for watching. Thanks to my patrons who made all of this stuff possible, and I'll see you next time for something different.
I couldn't be like him, you know, doing all the research he must have done, like actually, you know, not watching clips of these people, but having to watch their full videos. I couldn't do that. Yeah. Alright. Well, what can I say? Crazy people are crazy, but I can only pray that they won't win, and that normal people will understand that, you know, things aren't as simple as like all foreigners are bad. You know, that normal people realize that, yeah, it's not that simple or something. And I'm talking about every country, right? Not just Japan, you know. After Izuma said foreign people kick deer in Nara, yeah. I think we saw a video about that one. Bullshit. Sanae, the Prime Minister, said she should deal with it. That voice can make Japan different in any way. Yep, every country. Every country. Crazy people, I tell you. Crazy people, seriously. Yeah. I hope that good wins in the end. That's all I can say. As simple and cringe as it sounds, like, that's all I can say. Good, need to win. Alright, that's very interesting from Japan analysis. Let's get into something that might be less heavy, hopefully. So this is by the channel Adi. Hollywood weirdest side hustle. Japanese ads. Okay.
Have you seen this meme floating around Instagram recently? Or maybe, if you're a fan of the sitcom Friends, then you've likely seen Joey's advert for Ichiban Lips.
Damn, that's so many figures. There's like 1,000 Super Nico on the left side. I think on the right side there's that VTuber. She's one of the OG. She collabed a lot with Lizzie Lifter. Sanae, was it? No. She's like a nurse VTuber.
Lipstick for men.
Ichiban, lipstick for men.
What?
Ichiban, lipstick for men.
It is a dumb throwaway gag that most fans probably haven't thought about for over a decade or more. Or if you're from a generation that just never got into Friends, you may have never seen it. However, this gag ad is a very real reflection and jab at a phenomena that has been around for decades. Popular Western celebrities suddenly appearing in jarring, eclectic, or just downright strange Japanese advertisements. And to be honest, I also hadn't thought about this much until recently. Well, at least until more and more of these clips began to pop up on my Explore page on Instagram. And most of the time they would be entirely out of context with dumb, funny captions posted over the top of them. But it got me thinking, why are there so many adverts like this? And how long has this trend been going on for? And so today we're going to be having a look at the weird and wonderful world of Japandering.
Japandering.
So as you probably noticed by my fashion, channel name, and content, I am a pretty big fan of Japanese media. I've made a lot of videos deep diving into various topics that often only have resources available in their native language of Japanese, meaning I sometimes have to go in blind. And learning Japanese is something that I've been trying to set my mind to. I have bought books, I have looked at online courses, but I've personally always struggled with linear learning styles and also staying engaged in those very key, important early stages. But thankfully today's video sponsor, Migaku, has been a wonderful addition through things and the sentence structure and
2 videos in a row with the same sponsor. The luck of that.
Reviewing the words at the right intervals are without and overall skill levels, such as
I think it's like a mix of Japan and pondering. Pondering is like it's a term that's used a lot when, you know, for example, you know, like when company they change their like image to the rainbow color for like Pride Month, which is, you know, like LGBTQ like celebration month or something, and so like company they will change it to that. And it's called pandering because people know that they're not doing it because they believe in it. They're doing it, to appear nice, and so people buy more of their stuff. So that's called pandering. So I think Japandering is, a mix of pandering and Japan,
Japanese Fundamentals and Kanji Academy, making their pre-built and my own custom flashcards easier to understand and use correctly. And on my phone, I can also use their photo both holiday, both their yearly, and integrating it into your everyday using Migaku. Now it's time to get back to the video. So firstly, what is Japandering? Well, according to tvtropes.com, Japandering is the amalgamation between the word Japan and pandering. I know, Captain Obvious, it's a standard video essayist trope of telling you what a very simple word means, but bear with me. And the reason for this word is because many Western celebrities, especially around the 70s, 80s, and 90s, would take on weird and quirky Japanese advertisements as a way of earning quick money, as a guaranteed paycheck. Often under the assumption that these adverts would never make it outside of Japan, and therefore doing something that could be seen as embarrassing or weird wouldn't really affect their general brand image. It is a quick and easy cash grab that doesn't require their sincere endorsement and often has no bearing on their treatment back at home, because at the time, doing adverts wasn't actually something that...
Yeah, I think that's maybe what it is. I mean, it's a bit like that, yeah, maybe.
Big name celebrities really did. And so to be fair, you can understand that
I guess we're talking about YouTube channel, right? It's kind of like reaction channel that, they act like they really like music from a country, but they only do it because they're getting all the views from that country or something. But if you watch that video, you can kind of tell that they don't really care that much about the music or something. So they are pandering to the people from that country. So the people from that country keep donating and watching more, you know what I mean? You could say the same about the Joker earlier. The Joker is pandering to people who, are anti-immigrant, while himself he doesn't even seem to be. He's just pandering to them.
Doing this pre-internet and smartphone era made a lot of sense. After all, how would somebody see an advert that was only localized to Japan if they're not in Japan? And according to that same website, many celebrities even had clauses within their contracts to state that these adverts were not to be shown outside of Japan, due to the possible backlash or loss of credibility back home in the West. But of course, this is very hard.
Ecstasy when foreign people say they love Japan. It's a win-win.
Hard to guarantee in the age of TikTok, YouTube, and the internet. Not to mention the growing popularity of Japanese culture and fandom online too. It was only a matter of time that this lost media wouldn't stay lost. And one of the earliest adverts I can find that kind of fits this Japandering trope is a Suntory whiskey advert from 1974, which stars the one and only Sammy Davis Jr. In this advert, Sammy is casually pouring himself a whiskey whilst riffing and being musical organically towards the camera. There are no music or sound effects within the advert, and the rhythm of the advert is all provided by Sammy's own musical prowess. Overall, it's a fairly charming and infectious advert. It feels very nice and calm and casual, and it doesn't feel like it's trying too hard. And when going into the comments of this advert's re-upload on YouTube, there was actually a lot more context to be given. So apparently, during a performance at the Osaka World Expo, the young commercial director, Santa Sugiyama, desperately wanted to work with Sammy Davis Jr. to change the image of what whiskey was and could be. Because up until that point, whiskey had always kind of been seen as a more solitary and serious alcohol. It wasn't one of those drinks that inspired a more festive, casual, or laid-back atmosphere. And so this young commercial director pursued an initially apprehensive Sammy, eventually getting him on board to participate in this advert to great success. And allegedly, and with what I could find, this advert even won the official commercial category at the Cannes Film Festival in 1974, cementing a lifelong friendship between this director and Sammy. Now, admittedly, this advert is a bit of an outlier in the Japandering category, as although it is a Western star featuring in a Japanese advertisement, it doesn't fit the typical archetype that we're going to be covering. I mean, this advert was submitted and won a place at an international film festival after all. And fun fact, alcohol adverts ended up becoming a very popular and common form of Japandering amongst many Western musicians around the same time period. The one and only David Bowie did an advert for Crystal June Rock Sake in 1980. Sheena Easton did a whole geisha-inspired advert for what seems to be a bottle of Takara Sochu. Rick Astley did an advert for Mitsuya Cider, although he allegedly went on in a 1990s interview to state that it tasted bloody awful. And although it isn't booze, Michael Jackson even did his share of Japanese advertisements.
Whiskey has less taste than beer or wine, so it should be more popular. Interesting.
Admittedly,
Am I back? Yeah, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. If anyone is still watching, my internet died and I had to restart the router 2 times. Doesn't happen often, so I shouldn't complain. I stream every day, and, it's once in a while that things die, so I shouldn't complain. But sorry about that, yeah. I hope it will hold for the rest of the stream. Yeah, the stream stopped for a bit. Sorry about that. The internet, it died. I can't do anything about it. It's not a very bright day, so maybe there's bad weather or something. I don't know. You're still here. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's continue.
Adverts, and a follower called Agatha told me that Arnie was being accused of being a pervert in one of these, getting called a chican. Arnie then denies this, saying that they are wrong, and then goes on to drink the energy drink, and the situation seems to resolve itself. These particular adverts have become synonymous and very well known within the trope of Japandering, especially because these were released at the height of Arnie's popularity when it came to Western movies. As somebody who has a dad that loves action movies and sci-fi, I grew up on Arnie's movies, with Commando, Predator, and Total Recall being a couple of the ones I distinctly remember watching with my dad. And you best believe that Jingle All the Way is on every single Christmas at my family's home.
Shuya-chan. Wait, don't crash again, please, internet.
These were released at the height and Total Jingle All the Way is on every single Christmas at my family's home. And as expected, with these adverts eventually being uncovered and making their way to the internet, many Arnie fans had the burning question of why. He is and was a huge Hollywood star. Many fans posting the adverts to Reddit in search of these answers. And when one of these adverts was posted in the r/interestingasfuck subreddit 4 years ago, a user actually atted Arnie's official Reddit account for some explanation. And funnily enough, the man himself was more than happy to show up and give some answers. Sorry, but I have to give it a shot. At user Gov Schwarzenegger, can you share with us what your process was to prepare for cinematic greatness like this? And is there an element of, fuck it, the money's good and I won't have to watch it at home involved as well?
Ha, I've talked about this on Reddit before, but
no way you're doing an impression.
There are a couple of things going on. First, back then, stars never ever did commercials in the US because people looked down on it. That has obviously changed now, and I love doing Super Bowl commercials. But then everybody did overseas commercials thinking we could make money without our US audiences seeing it. Obviously YouTube changed that, which cracks me up. Second, I loved filming these. You have to understand, my personality is over the top.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen, like, some people might think of Schwarzenegger as, like, Terminator, Predator, like roles where he plays a cool guy, but, behind the scene he's much more of a funny guy, and that's why he's done also a lot of, like, comedy movies, which don't tend to be, like, as good, but he's much more of an over-the-top guy, and his acting is very, like, Japanese style acting, because, like, he's not the best actor, right? So he does a lot of crazy moves, and in Japan I know that, they kind of like that, the over-the-top acting. I know, like, Commando is super popular in Japan. A lot of the VTubers I follow, they do reaction to Commando. They really like Schwarzenegger and Commando.
I got to show off a little of that in my movies, but in these commercials I got to live my motto. Too much is not enough. The closest thing I've had to that in movies was probably Killing Gunther, that almost no one saw, or Junior. So these were a fantastic time for me.
And honestly, I think it's really cool that Arnie enjoyed doing these commercials, as honestly they are a lot of fun to watch, even if you can't understand the language. The cinematic greatness simply transcends language. Becoming the unofficial face of Japandering has not fazed Arnie in the least, and he even went on to do more recent Japanese adverts for brands like Koa powered coffee. But
I don't doubt it. I mean, this guy, for the most part, I think he would definitely, like, endorse everything he does, right?
of course, some other action heroes and movie stars have also done their time in Japanese commercials. This includes Bruce Willis in a 1999 commercial for petroleum, as well as a later commercial similar to Arnie for that same brand of powered coffee, a what seems to be 80s or 90s advert for crisps, starring Sylvester Stallone in a full tux, Harrison Ford promoting a Kirin brand of beer, as well as going on to do a 1992 advert for the Ford Honda Legend, and of course we have the now highly memed advert advert for Parliament Blue starring Charlie Sheen. And the memes from this footage do not disappoint, and I do agree with people that if I saw this on the television when I was a kid, I probably would have taken up smoking. But another personal favorite of mine has to be starring one of my favorite guys in Hollywood, Ben Stiller, in a 1990s advert for Kirin, advertising a still popular Chuhai brand. And honestly, again, it just reminds me of the Zoolander Merman commercial. Like, it really does. It is so funny and cheesy and camp. That's the thing I love about these adverts, is they are so unapologetically cheesy and camp. You just can't.
I don't know if you watch TV these days, so maybe I'm wrong, but you know, I feel like ads were a lot more fun back then. They've gotten a lot more sanitized.
Not like them. And hell, even beyond the 80s and 90s, and far deeper into the internet era of virality, big Western names have continued to do adverts in Japan. One interesting one is a SoftBank commercial directed by Wes Anderson and starring Brad Pitt. Paying homage to what I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation is Jacques Tati's Les Vacations. I'm gonna have to... Paying homage to Jacques
Tatis.
Yeah, Jacques, probably.
Vacances.
It's probably les vacances. If it's French, les vacances, which is vacation, yeah.
We'll put the title on screen.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Jacques Tati, les vacances de Monsieur Hulot. Nice French.
Just to make it easier. This advert being done in one long take and featuring Wes Anderson's iconic visual style. And there's actually a second advert as part of that set, once again directed by Wes Anderson and starring Brad Pitt, but this time taking place at the beach. Although compared to the other advert, this one seems to be a bit more unknown, a bit more of a sleeper hit. Tommy Lee Jones has done many Japanese advertisements, including one where he is an alien dealing with day-to-day life and like daily tasks in Japan, all thanks to the power of one of my favorite coffee brands in Japan, Boss Coffee.
It's funny because this makes you learn which foreign celebrity is popular in Japan. Like, I wouldn't know Tommy Lee Jones is popular in Japan, you know? Yeah, it's interesting. Burapi.
I do recommend that if you do go to Japan, do try Boss Coffee because it is really good. I love a vending machine coffee. I'm a simple person. I'm a simple woman. I love a vending machine coffee. I wish we had them here. Hot bottles of coffee. I will say these adverts do feature some pretty cheesy visual effects, but I will give props to Tom.
But that's what's great about it.
For his pretty well executed Japanese lines, at least from what I'm able to gauge. And of course, who can forget one of my favorite collabs of the century, Hatsune Miku, Hair Care, and Scarlett Johansson. This is such a weird, dumb, and strange advert, and I am forever grateful that it was archived so massively onto the internet, because I'm personally still not sure why this was ever put to screen. I don't know why or who in that business room decided that Scarlett Johansson and Miku make sense, but I love that little like it's Scarlett Johansson's picture on the phone and she's like, "Hey Miku, it's Scarlett. Remember, being yourself is never a waste." Something like that. She says some cheesy shit. And I love it. It is the weirdest, most egregious, stupid use of a celebrity in an advert, and I love it. I love it.
I mean, Scarlett Johansson has nice hair, so fair enough.
Hi Miku, this is Scarlett. Being true to who you are makes all your dreams possible.
But of course, by the 2010s, and especially now, celebrities being the face and ambassador for various different brands and products is not only commonplace, but it's actually a huge marketing tactic. It is a rare day that a fragrance, clothing line...
Yeah, again, like, what this video made me learn is that in the US, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the stars didn't really like to do commercials. I didn't know about that. I'm surprised. Like, it's the capitalist country, so I'm surprised.
Or makeup product doesn't have a celebrity attached to it. Celebrities doing adverts is no longer this social or career taboo that it used to be, meaning that we're not really getting that same level of Japandering that we used to. Those are now relics slowly getting lost to time. But whilst researching for this video, looking at the modern comments on these old adverts, most find a lot of humor and enjoyment from the unapologetic cash grab and overacted weirdness that you can find in Japanese advertisements. Although a few isolated comments do still express this weird fatigue when it comes to celebrities, in their own words, selling out. But at the end of the day, just like with content creators here on YouTube, adverts pay the bills. And so I suppose in a modern day of being a celebrity,
I wonder if one day anyone will pay me to advertise something. Maybe one day.
Adverts still be paying them bills, especially in between movie releases. Zendaya is Shrek's daughter. Rihanna is Smurfette. Megan Thee Stallion uses NYX bronzing drops. The list goes on and on. But as always, let me know down below, what is...
But I guess I mind less when it's, again, like if it's a YouTuber, you know, like I mind less, you know, but when it's like celebrity who just got 50 billion from a movie and, you know, they're still selling out for some stupid, you know, ad, yeah, it feels cheaper.
Your favorite weird advertisement, whether it is Japandering or maybe something else. It could be from Japan, it could be from the UK, it could be anything. Please share the weirdest adverts, the most unsettling adverts that you've ever seen. But there was also this TV show that was, I think, on the BBC, and I think it must be lost media because I've tried to find it, but it was like two different versions of it. So there was a movies one and an adverts one, and it was hosted by David Walliams. Hasn't aged well, but it was hosted by David Walliams, and it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it was him showcasing some of the weirdest archived advertisements, movies, things shown on television. So this was stuff that was like never broadcast since the original broadcast, and it was really, really good. It was like David Walliams awfully good ads. It was called David Walliams awfully good ads and David Walliams awfully good movies. Those were the two things, and I don't know if they've ever made a hard copy of it. I don't know if they ever had a digital release or they've ever re-aired it.
Alright, I guess I'll pause here. It seems like the rest of the video is talking about searching for that. Okay, well, interesting. The Arnold Schwarzenegger one looked really crazy. Yeah, like some of you may remember, but on the old channel that is gone, I did multiple streams reacting to Japanese ad. Maybe I'll do it again one day, since those VODs are lost. But yeah, I mean, there's some fun one, that's for sure. Yeah, there's some fun one. So good video, good video. I enjoyed learning about this. Okay. So, what do we have next? Oh yeah, Japan Most Evil Doll. I wanted to learn about this one by Sakura Stardust. It's time to be scared.
The tale that I am about to tell you is a curious one. One that affected numerous people for over a decade during the end of Japan's Showa period, one that still brings fear to those who witnessed it, to the point that incidents involving this topic remain a taboo in certain circles.
A taboo, huh?
Allow me to introduce you to the Iki Ningyo, otherwise known in English as the living doll. Its namesake is for good reason. This doll's story remains in infamy in Japan to this day, most notably for one of its television appearances in the late 1970s. A TV appearance that resulted in various mishaps that were witnessed live by thousands of viewers. Viewers who swear they witnessed this incident to this day. Though, before I get a little too ahead of myself, let's back up a little. To understand the namesake of the Iki Ningyo, we must go back to the very beginning, that being 1976.
Long time ago.
Enter Junji Inagawa, a man known fairly well in...
Well, perfect timing. I mean, I guess I just discovered him recently by watching a couple episodes of Takeshi's Castle. Yeah, he's the guy who's really into the Pichi Daigakusei, Joshi Daigakusei. Yeah.
Japan's television industry today, particularly for his appearances on such shows as Takeshi's Castle during the 1980s. During the 1970s, however, Inagawa was involved in two specific areas of the entertainment industry, those being radio and stage plays. The latter focusing particularly on bunraku plays. These productions showcase puppet-like dolls that resemble Japanese hina or ichimatsu dolls. Bunraku dolls are slightly larger and more articulated to accommodate fluid movements on stage. All was well in Inagawa's life and career, though it's when Inagawa was set to work on a folk music radio broadcast late one night that the first of many vexatious events occurred. It began with sudden, unanticipated crying that was hysterical and unable to be stopped. The crying came from one of the performers that were a guest on the show that evening. As Inagawa made his way to this performer, the station director was already trying to console him, to no avail. When this musician finally came to, he explained that he heard a woman's voice on the radio as one of his songs were being played. This voice belonged to a woman he knew, a woman who was now deceased. The intense feelings of sadness and longing for this woman overwhelmed the man, and he was unable to shake these feelings despite his best efforts. The musician remained upset for the remainder of the broadcast. He was so distraught as it wrapped up that Inagawa ultimately escorted the man to his home after the broadcast had ended. Inagawa and the musician entered a taxi together, the stress of the night seemingly resolved and simmering down a bit. Only this was solely the beginning. As Inagawa rode in this taxi, he started taking note of a little girl he witnessed outside the car window. A girl dressed in a red kimono. Such attire certainly stood out in the 1970s, as this type of dress was phased out and rather old-fashioned by this point. Sure, an older woman in a kimono would not be too unusual a sight, but a little girl? The taxi continued onward, but he saw her again and then again, respawning on every block despite not moving. The eeriest part of it all, this girl was making direct eye contact with Inagawa, and her expression.
I mean, you always hear stuff like this, and it's like, what would you do? If you run, it's probably like, you know, you're not supposed to run from like a bear or a lion or a tiger, right? Because, you know, the second you start running, they see you as prey, right? So like, it's kind of the same with like monsters like this. You know, you're not supposed to run, but human instinct is to run. Yeah. It's scary.
Inagawa described it as dark and filled with some kind of resentment and hatred. When the taxi came to a stop, Inagawa swears he bore witness to this girl levitating towards him, with that grim expression on her face becoming somehow more intense. And then, just like that, the girl was gone. Stunned beyond words, Inagawa looked around. Neither the musician nor the taxi driver were reacting in any way. They did not witness the same occurrences that Inagawa just had. They had not seen the little girl in the red kimono. Perhaps Inagawa was just tired. It had been a long day after all. As he finally returned home, he noticed his wife was already asleep. Inagawa decided to do the same. That very next morning, Inagawa's wife had swore she heard footsteps before she went to bed that evening. Despite this, nobody was home and Inagawa was busy working at the station at this time.
And I guess it's summer. Maybe I should do, you know, like creepy summer stream or something where we check out videos like this. But even just this one right now is making me feel like I'm not gonna sleep well tonight. I know Eddie has trouble like falling asleep, so I'm scared.
Once again, Inagawa just shrugged it off. The incident at the radio station was long forgotten later that year when Inagawa received an offer to work as a scriptwriter on a developing bunraku play. Inagawa eagerly joined the production, appearing for his first day of the project filled with anticipation and excitement. But then, just like that, all of these emotions drained from his body, replaced by a heavy, sinking feeling in his stomach. All the heat from his body drained, he felt cold and unable to move. This was as he laid eyes on the doll planned to portray the production's main character. This was the doll of a young girl, a girl that strongly resembled the young girl he witnessed that night in the taxi, down to the red kimono and eerie expression. The resemblance was certainly uncanny, but surely this could be just an odd coincidence. Inagawa decided to once again conclude that it was simply that. With that, he cast his unsettling thoughts aside and committed to the project nonetheless. When Inagawa had first witnessed this doll, it had yet to be completed, the limbs had yet to be attached.
That feels even worse. Yeah. That feels even worse. I always talk about it, but not these days, but when we used to live in the south of France, my mom, she liked this kind of more European style dolls, you know? Kind of like this, but European style, you know, in terms of like frilly dress and stuff like that. But the same thing was that they were very creepy to me, especially like the eyes, which felt like they followed you as you moved around, and they were like, they felt alive almost. And she had a bunch of them like above a cupboard, I guess, in the living room. I never liked it. It's, I don't know, I like anime figure, I like anime plushie and stuff like that. But there's something about traditional dolls of different countries that have like this different level of creepiness, and I don't know why, but they really do.
The second encounter would involve a visit to the puppeteer's home, who was cast to handle this lead doll. This person was referred to as Maeno-san. The doll was now completed, but there was a complication. For reasons unknown to Maeno, the doll had arrived with a broken arm and leg. Maeno swore that he had no clue how the doll ended up this way. When he returned the doll to the maker for repairs later on and even attempted to remedy the situation himself, the arm and leg ultimately became damaged again. The actual cause of damage was never witnessed by human eyes. The doll would just keep ending up like this. The crew attempted to seek out the doll maker one last time, hoping to figure out a way to prevent the doll from breaking yet again. With opening night of the play rapidly approaching, the situation had to be rectified soon. Though, when Maeno, Inagawa, and the others accompanying them had arrived at the doll maker's shop, it was completely cleaned out and shut down. The doll maker had vanished, with no information given on where he left to. He had completely vanished without a single trace. People who created and repaired these types of elaborate dolls were far and few between by that time. Once again, even in late Showa Japan, such things were becoming scarce. The crew didn't have the time or funding to seek out another doll maker. The events that took place following this proved to be even more jarring. Shortly after the disappearance of the doll maker, the scriptwriter tasked with writing dialogue for the play shared some unsettling news. His house had completely burned down. He was able to escape, but the house itself was destroyed in its entirety.
I'm sure there's a movie about all
The
this.
portion of the script that he had been working on was also completely lost. Being long before the days of internet and digital preservation, they simply had to start from the beginning. It was shortly following the setback that tragedy struck yet again. Maeno, the lead puppeteer, shared news that his cousin had passed away suddenly. The official cause of death was unable to be determined at that point in time. His cousin was young and healthy. It was a shock to his entire family. Despite these horrible setbacks, a lot of progress had been made to complete this production. Beyond that, a great deal of time, energy, and of course money had been invested in the completion, and they had to make that money back. For the sake of those working on the project, especially those who needed that money in the wake of their recent tragedies. With that considered, the production team did their best to see the whole thing through, Inagawa doing so with a feeling of dread. Still recalling that little girl in the red kimono, an image in the back of his mind with each passing day. The road to opening night was filled with mishaps. While not as prominent as homes burning down and relative deaths, various accidents came about without any valid explanation in sight. First, lockers filled with costumes with—
There's really a point where like, oh, okay, you can't really convince me it's coincidence anymore, right? It's too much.
Become soaked with water. These lockers were not anywhere near any pipes or water source. Next, other props such as wigs would suddenly catch fire, sometimes while cast members were wearing them. These incidents eventually ended with various injuries to the team. As time went on, Inagawa eventually took note of a pattern in these injuries. Each and every one, without exception, was to a right hand or right knee. Inagawa then thought back to that doll, to the broken areas that just couldn't be completely fixed, especially now that the doll maker was missing in action. The areas broken on the doll were also located on the right arm and right leg. Was this all really just a coincidence?
Again, at this point I'm way beyond the point where I would believe it is, right? I don't know how much of this story is true, right? It really sounds like a basic copy-pasta, creepypasta, but imagine yourself in that situation, yeah. I've already stopped believing it's a coincidence at this point.
At this point, Inagawa refused to believe it as such. This was the final straw. He then tried to persuade the theater group to drop the project altogether. Proceeding could prove to be too dangerous. The others did not agree and did not believe him, feeling the ideas Inagawa presented were too outlandish and that the incidents were merely coincidental. The need to make a profit on this project and see the fruits of all the combined creative efforts were of a much higher priority. And Inagawa, while he didn't agree with these statements, decided to stay on the project as well. He was mainly worried for his co-workers and their safety. Inagawa ultimately decided to press on and see the project to its completion. This brings us to opening night. At long last, the sets were prepared, the cast adequately prepared after countless rehearsals. The play was set to debut at noon, but shortly before, cast members began complaining that they lost sensation in their limbs. Some expressed an inability to speak. Despite their best efforts, the play could not premiere as planned, and they had to reschedule to the next day. Inagawa decided that he should take independent actions to try and correct the situation, that being the spiritual situation with the doll. Not knowing what else he could possibly do, he visited local shrines in the area and purchased various charms and items that he felt may help.
Maybe
it seemed
at this point just stop, just stop. Just don't do it. There has to be a point where you're like, just don't do it. Come on.
But at this point, what else could he do? At this point, nothing was happening to Inagawa directly, and he was primarily worried that his fellow team members would get hurt.
Yes, so don't do it. As a kid, I liked reading Imigawa Karuto Koyanashi to channel. If you figure out the meaning, it will become an horror story. I see, yeah. But as a kid, I don't think it's really popular these days, but when I was on Facebook and even YouTube like 10 to 15 years ago, there was always people who would write a long comment which was like a scary story, and the comment would finish by like, now that you have read this creature will visit you in the next 10 days. To avoid that, you need to repost this 10 times to other people or something. And I never did it, but that used to be like a popular thing people did. I remember that.
More than they already had been. This, much to Inagawa's relief, seemed to help. The play debuted without any issue, that is, until the final act. This involved a scene with the doll being placed in a coffin. When the doll was meant to move in the scene, emerging from the coffin, something happened. This was when the crew heard a loud thud, followed by another smaller one. Looking down, they realized all the limbs on the doll just fell off. In unison, without any warning. Inagawa also recalls the entire stage area becoming cold, almost frigid. Some who were present also were...
How many signs do you need? I mean, how many signs? Come on.
Called the stage appearing to have a fog over it. According to the cast members, this was not meant to be an effect. They were unclear as to where the fog came from. The play itself was well received, so much so that the producer and Maeno-san became enthusiastic about continuing, and continue they did. During the run of the play, Inagawa received word that his father had passed away. He, to this day, remains unsure if his father's death was actually related to the events experienced during the run of this play, however. And as a side note, Inagawa has been very discreet about the name of this production and where it took place and how long it took place. Photos do exist from behind the scenes, one with the doll Inagawa and Maeno.
I mean, it looks really creepy.
Can merely only assume that Inagawa is worried for those who seek out this supposedly cursed play. This is why he's so secretive about where the play actually took place and what it was actually called. And at long last, the play finally did conclude, and now came time to decide what should be done with the doll. To Inagawa's surprise, Maeno actually agreed to take it. Inagawa thought this to finally be the end of it all, that he could move on from all of this. But this is when the TV appearances came into play. Out of nowhere, Inagawa began to receive calls from television and radio programs. Being in the entertainment industry himself, he was fairly easy to reach. This was no surprise in itself. Somehow, people had caught wind of what happened with the doll during that recently finished stage production. They were fascinated by the incidents surrounding the doll and thought it would make for good TV. Inagawa, not having the doll in his possession, passed the message along to Maeno, who was willing to make appearances with this doll. So there were a couple attempts to film with Maeno and the doll, though at this point, none were deemed useful. These attempts included the earliest of incidents, such as lights falling and equipment not working or turning on. The first attempt is said to have included Maeno at some point mumbling words to the doll, as if he was having a conversation with her. Maeno would later claim to have no recollection of doing this at all. According to Inagawa himself, a film reel of this failed TV broadcast attempt does exist within the studio's vault, which he left unnamed aside from the studio being Tokyo-based. The earliest successful public distribution of the story being told was in Young Lady magazine in 1978. The retelling in print made it easier to get the word out without any slip-ups. And word definitely got out. Following that TV incident with Maeno, Inagawa took the doll into his possession. He decided to go full force with purifying this doll spiritually and found a psychic in attempt of having this doll rectified or cleansed somehow. To Inagawa's bewilderment, the psychic refused to take the doll.
Of course.
She even refused
It's really
to look
like
at it, claiming
every single thing is the most cliché or thing, I mean. It feels like a collection of the cliché, you know what I mean?
it was too evil. Inagawa pressed the psychic to at least try and help with the doll, as it already affected so many people. The psychic then told Inagawa that the doll was definitely cursed. No surprise here. The psychic also shared a rather startling revelation, one received without the psychic knowing any prior info regarding the doll's background. You see, according to the psychic, the doll was possessed by multiple spirits, the most powerful of which being a little girl. According to the psychic, the fate of this little girl in her living life was an untimely death during an air raid during World War II. Her specific cause of death? Complications from losing both an arm and a leg. The psychic did not share anything further. Years later, Inagawa had heard that the psychic had passed away shortly following his meeting with her. Inagawa decided to continue attempting to tell the story to the masses. After all, the doll had still yet to harm him directly.
I mean, yeah, he's lucky, you know, everybody else gets hurt but not him, so whatever, keep going.
And he felt it was a tale worth telling. The Ikiningyo's most infamous television appearance, one that made this doll well known throughout the country of Japan, would take place in 1979 during a segment for a daytime variety show known as Plus Alpha. The incidents witnessed during this live broadcast are vividly recounted on sites like Nichan to this day. This incident itself, despite many vivid recollections, only aired one time. It is now lost media. The 1979 incident on Plus Alpha is what truly brought to life the Iki Ningyo legend that remains strong to this day as one of Japan's most renowned urban legends. There are people all over the Japanese internet who will defend their accounts of this incident 100%. These separate accounts are all very similar to each other. Found on Nichan, YouTube comments, and even Yahoo Japan answers, they're all very similar in narrative. The broadcast incident remains lost to this day, though common details shared online are as follows. The Plus Alpha broadcast featured a group of people. This included Inagawa, Maeno, the Plus Alpha hosts, and one other special guest, a renowned psychic. The broadcast was held live, and viewers were encouraged to call in with any questions they had. And it was not long before a high volume of calls were received, all of them asking the same thing. That being, who the child next to the doll was. But you see, there was no child was present on the set. There are also accounts that claim the child appeared to be on Inagawa's shoulder rather than next to the doll who was on the other side of the room. Clearly, this question confused Inagawa, Maeno, and the hosts. Witnesses even recall that the hosts verbally repeated the question out loud on the broadcast and were visibly confused. As I said, there was no child next to the doll, it was sitting by itself. What most accounts claim to have seen was a young boy standing next to the Iki Ningyo. It wasn't long after these questions and the confusion that followed that the studio lights began shaking, flickering, and ultimately falling down. According to some, metal poles fell as well, almost hitting the group being filmed. At this point, the show went off air for a bit, attempting to cut to commercials, but the station was having trouble doing so. Some recount an off-air signal being displayed before commercials ultimately appeared. First-hand accounts of those on set at the time claim both the audience and crew were terrified and trying to escape the studio for a short time, that the entire scene was chaos. Yet another claim is that the expression of the doll changed when the show resumed its broadcast. Those who saw it claim the doll appeared angry. It's really not confirmed, at least from what I've read, if the doll's expression change was before or after the cut to commercials. Following this incident, the episode had become somewhat of a taboo topic and never...
But I'm sure like everything is lost media, right? Every single thing that could show any kind of actual weirdness is just lost media, and everything is literally just, you know, like a written story.
Aired again. It's unknown if the film was destroyed, recorded over, or just left in an archive or warehouse to slowly rot away. The thing with film is it doesn't stay preserved forever, so if this film wasn't destroyed in some way already, it will be eventually. So, because this specific episode of Alpha Plus, a show that ran for 10 years between 1972 and 1982, only aired one single time, many simply doubted its existence, thinking it was nothing more than a myth. Though regardless, and especially after the internet came into play and connected the masses, many swore they watched this segment on TV. And if you're assuming this whole story is a work of fiction with the whole spooky story vibe, well, guess what? Screenshots of the actual TV appearance did actually surface online. Yes, this incident really did happen, and it's well known to many people throughout Japan, even to this day, 44 years later. And these images have been passed around on image boards for quite some time now.
They don't really look like much like this, I guess. Yeah. Obviously, they don't really show any kind of incident, it's just a screenshot.
There's also a later TV appearance with Inagawa and a replica of the Iki Ningyo that did surface as well. Footage of this later appearance can be found on YouTube and Nico Nico. The full original broadcast of that first 1979 appearance has not been recovered aside from these images, though. I've said this plenty of time in my lost media videos, but it's worth saying again here. VHS recording did exist in the late 1970s, though was not commonplace just yet.
A doll with aggro? I don't know about it.
Later on, Betamax recordings specifically caught on in Japan, however. This specific tape format does better in preserving media over the standard VHS tapes people were more acclimated to in the West. With that said, later doll appearances being documented are somewhat likely. The infamous one, however, possible but not likely, unfortunately.
Yikes.
So what about these later appearances, and what about the doll itself? What eventually happened to it? Well, as I said, Inagawa made appearances with this doll on a few more occasions following this. Despite the apparent dangers the presence of this doll entailed, TV stations ate the lore behind this doll up, and when it came down to it, the doll made for good TV.
Sure, of course.
And good TV equaled positive ratings and high viewership. Many of these TV appearances can be found online. The way Inagawa discusses his time with the doll is rushed and almost panicked. The speed and cadence of his speech is not something I've personally witnessed with any other native Japanese speaker.
で、その写真を撮ってきまして、みんなで持って見ようって見てましたからね。友達が、はい、次は化け物ですって、私のことをね、次は化け物ですってピッとやったんですよ。そうしたら40歳になる女の人がね、キャーって騒いだんですよ。で、みんな何かと思ったら、みんな騒いで泣いてる人もいるんですよね。見たら僕がこう映ってますよね、顔が。そのすぐちょっとこっち離れた時にね、真っ白い顔したね。
I mean, he still doesn't talk faster than mine, so it's fine.
But let's get back on topic here. What became of the doll itself? Inagawa continued in his pursuit to seek out a way to somehow cleanse this doll of whatever evil spirits haunted it. A resolution came sooner than expected. The night after the occurrence at the studio, Inagawa and Mayano visited the home of a friend and colleague, a man by the name Taniguchi. His family ran an inn in Nishizu, a small seaside town in Shizuoka Prefecture. Inagawa and Mayano entered the inn with the doll, and Taniguchi's family, who was greeting them at the entrance, went silent. Upon looking at the doll, it was understood why. The eyes of the doll appeared bloated, the mouth was split apart on both sides in some kind of sick grin. The hair of the doll had changed color and was standing up as if it was electrocuted. This doll now better resembled a hanya or kuchisake onna, a woman prevalent in Japanese folklore. But rather than turning Inagawa and Mayano away, Taniguchi's wife made an unexpected offer. To take the doll to be enshrined as well as make her a fresh kimono, as the current kimono was a little dirty. Inagawa agreed, and the doll was left at the Nishizu Inn. Following leaving the doll in Nishizu, things were rather peaceful. Work continued as usual for Inagawa, and Mayano even received an offer to perform in a production in Europe. Aside from
Don't come here. You can stay in Japan. It's okay.
telling this tale, this ordeal seemed to be finally behind Inagawa and his peers. This was until news of a second house fire broke out. The victim this time was none other than Mayano himself. He was burned alive.
Oh, wow.
What's odd is that shortly following the receival of this news, Inagawa had spoken to Mayano on the phone. Inagawa would later learn that Mayano was already confirmed dead before Inagawa had spoken to him on the phone. Inagawa believes to this day he was speaking to Mayano's ghost. Following this, Inagawa decided to not speak about the doll for quite some time, to completely shut down any discussion involving it. It was just too painful to revisit after Mayano's passing. This was until years later when Taniguchi arrived at Inagawa's home, insisting to speak with him about it. It took a little while, but Inagawa eventually conceded. This is when he learned that the doll continued to wreak havoc beyond what Inagawa had thought. Apparently, the doll had formed some kind of bond with the young daughter of Taniguchi. The girl began to stay up all night and claimed that
Just
the doll
destroy the doll at this point, if it's even possible.
to her. This young girl ultimately stated that the little girl haunting the doll wanted Mrs. Taniguchi to be her new mother. This understandably frightened Mrs. Taniguchi, and she expedited the process of enshrining the doll. And by expediting, she did not make the new kimono. She did no more than shove it into the hands of someone at a local shrine and just wanted nothing more to do with it. Not long after this, a temple priest had contacted the Taniguchi family with the final outcome of this doll. At some point, the doll simply vanished from the shrine. Nobody within the shrine could explain how or why the doll vanished.
Maybe someone smart enough destroyed it.
They just woke up one morning and it was simply gone. Inagawa would tell this tale to countless audiences following this specific incident. He even claimed that the spirit visited his home one last time late at night. As initially a dark shadow standing right outside his rice paper door. No one was in the house that night, and that shadow was definitely not a simple human one. Inagawa tried to ignore it and just go back to sleep. That is, until the door began to slowly slide open. He could make out a face in the darkness peeking at him from the cracked door. That's when he realized it. It was the doll. The doll was moving and she had found him. Inagawa, amidst his panic, wondered if his late friend Maino had seen this very sight before his house became engulfed in flames and he met his demise. But then, just like that, the doll became a shadow once again, and then the shadow disappeared. This would be the last time Inagawa saw the doll. This was over 35 years ago. It was in 1999, following another television appearance where he discussed the doll, that Inagawa met with Taniguchi's daughter once again. The daughter, now a grown woman, told Inagawa that she had maintained some kind of telepathic connection with the doll and knew where it was, roughly, at all times. She claimed that the doll seemed to be stored away in a warehouse in the mountains somewhere at that time being 1999. The daughter left Inagawa with one final message, that the doll told her that it would reunite with Inagawa again somewhere, someday. Inagawa asked her to elaborate and she said nothing. Instead, she drew a picture. It was of a stage complete with unique props and lighting. Inagawa recognized it immediately. It was the stage he performed on with Maino all those years ago. Inagawa would also later discover the whereabouts of that doll maker that vanished all those years ago.
One of the most famous horror story, like Kaneko selling toilets. But it's said actually because each shell is shaped U and it becomes G to make a longer part after the time period. Interesting, I mean, I guess like Sadako and, you know, some of those kind of monsters, they usually have like very long hair, you know, that almost reach the ground. Yeah. And sometimes they can grab you with hair. I think in one of the Joan movies, someone get kind of like stuck in basically the air coming out of the apartment. It's very scary.
He was apparently a monk now, living in solitude. The doll maker's decision to do so was not something any of his peers or loved ones were familiar with. He just simply did it without warning one day. As I said, Inagawa would continue to tell the tale of this doll and the havoc it wreaked on his and his loved ones' lives for many years. Though now he would do so with a replica doll, as the current whereabouts of the actual doll were unknown. Perhaps that's a good thing. See, this is why that mid to late 80s television appearance that surfaced online featured a replica doll and a photo of the original doll, because the true Iki Ningyo's whereabouts are unknown.
Alright.
So, the elephant, or perhaps the child's ghost in the room. There's a huge element of this story that I have refrained from discussing until now.
It's all just a story.
I have already explained that Junji Inagawa is a famous television personality. Appearances on television and working with Japan's entertainment industry was very much commonplace to him. However, one detail I left out, one element of Junji Inagawa's career that he is very well known for, possibly best known for, is that he is a professional ghost storyteller.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, no surprise though. So much of this story feels like the most classic tropes of horror stories.
So famous famous, in fact, that there is a Japanese ghost storytelling competition named after him. It's called the Inagawa Grand Prix. And that way he talks fast, that kind of panicked way he tells a story that I mentioned previously, it's a storytelling technique that he's well known for. He's sold everything from cassette tapes to PS1 games that explore his ghost stories.
Wow.
He even has a YouTube channel he uploads to today. Now, this revelation may deconstruct this whole story quite a bit. However, even Inagawa himself claims this specific ghost story has truth to it. That the horrors he faced fueled his drive to construct and distribute the tale in the first place. Inagawa even states that the tale is a rather difficult one for him to discuss today. And what of the people that supposedly passed on in the tale? Did they really die? That's something that I have personally been unable to confirm.
Sure.
What's also possible is that Inagawa constructed the story from scaled down real events. Perhaps the origin is real, perhaps he still saw that girl's ghost outside his car in the mid-70s. Perhaps all of it is real and Inagawa tells this tale to spread awareness. Perhaps it's not a tale for entertainment purposes, that it's a tale that's cautionary in nature. If this tale is genuine and based on true events, consider this a warning, because that means that the Iki Ningyo is out there and nobody truly knows where she is today. Just know, if you ever find yourself in Japan and you come across a doll with this appearance, there is only one piece of advice I could give you. Run.
Sure.
And
I mean, that's what I would do.
last but certainly not least, I'd like to give a shout out to all
Okay,
my
that's
beloved.
it. Okay, well, I wasn't too much into this one because, yeah, frankly, all of it felt like the most classic story, right? And since, you know, she had no, there was no footage or real incident reports to back it up. Yeah, it literally like all felt like a story, and that's what it ends up being in the end. It is all just a story, right? You know, it felt a bit much, yeah. Anyone my son points at his screen dies within 3 days. Today, right before I turned on the TV, he pointed at the screen and a politician appeared there. Oh, so that person is going to die. This is an Imiko. Are you lighting any? Okay, yeah, that was mildly entertaining. This one just felt a bit too fake from the beginning. I think that's the problem, right? And there was nothing to back it up, so yeah, still entertaining, I guess. But yeah, it's a bit much, you know. And the father is the one that's going to die. Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Next we have a video about Nico Nico, but I'll take a quick break before we watch it. Give me 5 minutes, I shall be back, as always. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. Okay, so let's watch the last video for today, which is about Nico Nico Douga, and I guess it was really weird. By Sakura Stardust once again. I mean, we've done a stream or two checking out Nico Nico before, and you know, I know a little bit about it from like the video we watched on that stream and even outside of it, but you know, I was never like a user of the site that goes on it every day or something. So. People.
Ah yes, Nico Nico Douga. It's basically YouTube, but you needed an account to use it for a long time, and there were comments going across the screen that kind of made it hard to look at what you were looking at. But, you know, that was just part of the charm. In short, it was pretty chaotic. I mean, yeah, Nico Nico does still exist today, but that time period in the mid to late 2000s really was peak Nico Nico, at least in my opinion. A lot of people in Japan just use YouTube now. While Nico Nico's still around, it's not really as prominent, at least in my opinion. So let's start with the basics and some key facts real quick. Nico Nico Douga, more commonly known as NND or Nico Nico, is a video sharing service similar to YouTube. It launched on December 12th of 2006, which is 16 years ago now. Like I mentioned,
it's 20 years ago now, as I'm making this video.
Earlier, it's unique in the fact that the comments from the video commenters would slide across the screen. With more popular videos, more comments would slide across the screen, making it look more chaotic and funny. And yes, these on-screen comments can be turned off. In Japanese, the term Nico Nico means...
As a kid, I missed Vocado to Aimatsu, Mad, Inmu, so it's clean.
To smile. If you're familiar with the anime meme Nico Nico ni, that's pretty much the same thing. The word douga is in reference to animation or a moving picture or video. Though in Japanese animation terminology, a douga is the rough sketch before the actual animation is created. I actually have a couple dougas from the anime City Hunter. They look like this.
That's nice.
Anyways, before I get too off topic, Nico Nico Douga as a site actually originally hosted YouTube videos and didn't have its own video player. Though this quickly changed in the year 2007 when it gained its own video infrastructure. And it was around this time in the late 2000s where Nico Nico Douga began to expand in popularity, not just in Japan but overseas with anime fans as well. People were drawn to it because this era was chaotic. The memes that made their way onto the site were nothing short of chaotic in themselves. While meme humor is really odd in today's age, nothing really compares to the yelling, chaos, and remix clips that Nico Nico Douga was associated with. And I, being a teenager during Hatsune Miku's emergence, as well as the peak of the online mad video, I was there for it and I loved it. And by looking at the age of most of these videos, that was a long time ago. And by the way, if you're unfamiliar with what a mad video is, don't worry, I will give you the rundown. We have a lot of topics to cover in this video, so without wasting more time, let's get started.
Mad videos.
So, first thing first, in order to fully understand Nico Nico and Japanese internet culture of this era, we must first understand the mad video and Japanese remix culture as a whole. And because of that, we have to start at the very beginning, predating even the...
I hope this is only like for the video that she has so much stuff in front of the screen, because I can't imagine like looking at my screen and there's stuff like over the screen like that.
Internet. In 1980s Japan, some university students would take up amateur film and audio editing simply to make funny things to share with friends. These were commonly known as mad tapes. The origins are said to date back to Osaka University in the year 1978. The term mad itself stemmed from their original terminology, as they were originally referred to as kichigai tapes or madness tapes. Somewhere along the way, they became better known as mad
There's a crazy Doraemon.
tapes because it's short for the English translation of kichigai, madness. These tapes would typically either feature news audio spliced together for comedic effect on a cassette tape, or more anime, news footage, and other interesting visuals combined on a VHS tape for the same purpose. Honestly, the Japanese MAD community sounds like such a cool community to have been a part of back in its era. Something you would truly have to experience back in that day to fully be a part of it. It kind of reminds me of early Western anime communities and how they would exchange VHS tapes of fan dubs at conventions. Something so underground and just so cool to me. If I had the resources to collect something as niche as original pre-internet MAD VHS tapes, I would absolutely do it. Anyways,
I mean, as always, obviously I'm only watching English channels that cover this kind of Japanese topic, but I assume that if I went onto Japanese YouTube, there's probably like, you know, YouTuber from the country itself who do stuff like this, who can more easily go out of their way to track that kind of thing, finding some old VHS with a like old school anime MAD or something. That would be interesting, definitely.
popularity remained, but the hobby remained niche due to technical limitations. That is, until home computers and the internet made this hobby a whole lot more doable and shareable. And from there, it took off and became an entirely different beast. I mean, I could explain how, but I think you'll get the point if I just show you guys a
local video site. I mean, there is a Dailymotion. I don't know if you've heard about it. It was never like, you know, never even as popular as like Nico Nico, and obviously like super far away from YouTube. But I kind of remember that when I first got onto YouTube, some YouTubers would sometimes say, you know, I posted this video on Dailymotion because it was blocked on YouTube or something. But that was a long time ago. Like, no one talks about it these days. Grab your video on Dailymotion? Yeah, I mean, I've been on the site a few times, a long time ago actually. I have that story. I think in 2014 or 15, I did some AMV, and on YouTube they were blocked. So I basically posted them on Dailymotion. I mean, I should still have my Dailymotion account if I search for it, actually. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I found something I forgot I posted. Wait. If it actually loads. No, maybe not. Is there some culture? I don't know. It was all a long time ago. Let's see if it actually loads. I don't even know if the site is still alive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here I am. I don't even remember posting this. Was in the army. Yeah, I don't even remember posting this, but that was like 2 or 3 years ago. I was watching some K-drama. I think that's it, because this isn't my old channel, Time Capsule, yeah. I think I had another channel, but this site is very slow. I had like another channel that's like from 10 years, 12 years ago, I think. There might still be some of the AMV I did. Oh, maybe this one. Yeah, here we go. This is the one. There's still a few other video. Alright. This is the one. 10 years ago, this one was posted. Wow. ExoticBankai history. This site does not load though. Come on. Oh yeah, this site really doesn't load. Alright, I'll give you the link if you want it. There's just a few videos, but yeah. I remember posting there, yeah. I think it was because, again, like, those videos were deleted on YouTube, so I posted them there, yeah. Okay.
A few popular Nico Nico MAD videos.
Yeah, I think at the time that's what it was. I mean, because again, if you post like literally today I got a copyright strike because I don't know if you saw, but I made a top 100 anime opening video and I wanted to post it on YouTube, and I posted it yesterday, and this morning I wake up and I have a copyright strike because of one of the opening in the top. So I had to post it on Bilibili. Actually, maybe I should try to post it on Dailymotion, but yeah. YouTube is annoying with stuff like this. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's not that much.
They're similar in nature to a YouTube poop or AMV, two things that were also very popular during this time period. Much like their tape predecessors, they were parody or remix videos that had audio clips and anime and other bizarre things mixed together for comedic effect. As far as what was mixed and spliced together for the Mad video, it really varied. Anything from anime, video games, Japanese motivational videos, McDonald's commercials, interviews with celebrities and talentos, some more NSFW type stuff. It really varies and anything goes. But basically, all you need to know is they're video remixes that spliced up a lot of words, remix songs to words and clips from different things, and it was all over Nico Nico for a significant amount of time.
I was gonna say, like, she does very generic recap of things, so I guess I'm gonna pass what I already know about. So we can like see her cover stuff I don't know about, because like I know about Mad, then I see she's talking about Miku, but I kind of know, and she's just doing like basic introduction, so I think it's better if I pass to what I want to learn more about maybe. I don't know about Gachimuchi, but I still kind of want to see a recap of it. Upload blogged video on Bilibili. I mean, it was just the top 100 I did. I don't think I upload more videos. Yeah, for now, just the top 100. I mean, I don't really have any other blogged video anymore, you know? Since right now I try to be careful to not have any blogged video. Yeah. Now I guess we can pass this too. I mean, I know about it. Toe Project, I know about it. Okay, this I don't know about. Red Parka, I don't know this.
While a lot of these videos and memes were somewhat known outside of Japan at one point, with, you know, anime and otaku culture and all that, this is one series of videos that actually took off more overseas than it did in Japan. At least that's the impression I receive when all I can find in Japanese are blog posts describing how the videos took off overseas. And when the view counts vary greatly compared to the YouTube re-uploads with English titles. This could be because NND deleted the original uploads, but I can't really figure that out because NND is NND and there's a lot of lost media. The video series itself is often referred to as Akapaka or Red Parka, parka being a hoodie, kinda like how American sweaters or sweatshirts are referred to as jumpers.
It's like you use a character.
In England and Australia. Are they sweaters in Canada though, or are they jumpers? I have no clue. Please let me know in the comments. Anyways, this series is called Red Parka due to the man in the videos wearing just that. It follows a man in Sendai, a city in northern Japan, as he does elaborate and bizarre things throughout the town. This ranges from dumping a bucket of water over his head, jumping a lot, whatever this thing is, breaking a kusudama or paper party ball filled with confetti and streamers, and of course becoming a human flamethrower. All the shorts have the same catchy theme music with the words changed up to fit the theme, and the same low-budget comedic visuals. Very early YouTube, but, you know, early NND instead. The best known of the shorts is Broken Wear, where he quite literally busts out of his clothes with just his boxers remaining in various locations throughout Sendai. I mean, he does all the other things within Sendai too, and other popular locations throughout the region. One in particular being Matsushima, a famous bay with 260 tiny islands scattered throughout it. It is very scenic, often considered one of the most scenic spots within Japan. Red Parka Guy verbally identifies the spot before performing the broken wear stunt in a boat within Matsushima. I assure you, it's very silly.
I mean, it's an interesting visual effect.
The visuals are especially funny in Brokenware, especially the bits where you can see the other dudes pulling the strings that break the clothes apart. And then there's the narration and music. My favorites are the Sendai Dash parts. If that becomes successfully stuck in your head, let me know in the comments. Anyways, 8 of these Red Parka shorts were uploaded to Nico Nico in total throughout 2008. These were officially titled Brokenware, Bucket Reverser, Breath Fire, Smoky Cheddar, Jumping Jump, Kusudama Breaker, Jumping Jump 2, and Brokenware 2 Electric Boogaloo. After that, it would appear that the Red Parka guy quietly faded out. In late 2010, an English YouTube channel known as WTF Japan Seriously, known for finding weird and funny Japanese clips, uploaded a compilation of the shorts. This is where it really took off outside of Japan, and by take off I mean getting about 300,000 views. And it would seem that this was the end of Red Parka. Though, with a little more searching in Japanese, I was able to track down more details behind this interesting series. And it turns out Red Parka guy is still very much active today, and actually, they consist of a whole group of performers. So the group is called Shiro-e, or Sido-e in English. They're a performance group founded in, you guessed it, Sendai, in 2002. The members all attended Miyagi Hirose High School within Sendai together, and that's how they met. The main guy, the one featured in all the Red Parka shorts, is named Ryosuke Sato, and is the official founder of the group and now CEO. It appears that Red Parka may have been their big break, as Shiro-e was signed to the talent agency Amuse in 2009, following those 2008 NND uploads. Looking at their Wikipedia page, following being signed in 2009, they made a lot of TV appearances. Judging by their official site and their recent performances, these guys have improved significantly since the Red Parka shorts. They've performed all over the world. I mean, look at this stuff, it's really, really good. They do have a YouTube page, but it's only at around 6,000 subs, which is criminal for people of this talent. So please do your pal a favor and subscribe to these guys or follow them on their socials. They really deserve it. They work very hard and they're very talented. But all of that aside, I'm happy to see them doing good.
Okay, I mean, nice story this one. Didn't know about it, but I like it. Danjo.
Danjo is a word referring to both men and women or boys and girls. It's meant to refer to both quickly. The trend itself is a series of live-action dance videos and later fan animations that use the 2006 rock song Danjo by the artist Taro. The song itself was created on a personal computer using only GarageBand, making its success rather impressive. The original upload of the song was made live in December of 2006 on NND. The lyrics themselves are as simple as the title, simply a teacher figuring out the seating arrangement of their students. Regardless of its simplicity, it is very catchy. The video trends themselves didn't begin until 2008, when various users began filming themselves dancing to the song. The earliest to do so was NND user Kilroy in January of 2008. This specific user set the trend for the dance itself, and others soon followed, including this popular version by Ito Kutora, or just Ikura, though many other versions preceded this one. It was with trends like this that many dancers actually became popular on NND as well and became famous later on in life. We'll explore some of them in the next episode.
It's such a different thing, right? Because like these days with TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, there's so many viral dance all the time, but everything feels so not genuine anymore, right? But in this era of the internet, right, where, you know, people didn't really make money from stuff like this, they weren't trying to actually be an internet celebrity, you know, all the kind of stuff like this, you know, how do we dance, all that, the Lucky Star dance, you know, that people were making video of at the time. Yeah, that felt genuine, but, you know, it really was a different time.
It was around the same time in 2008 that the animation parodies came about as well. Similar in nature to the dance videos, and featuring some of the dance itself, but also illustrating the classroom setting. Artists made use of this with various fictional characters and series, including Vocaloid, Super Smash Bros. Fighters, and other popular video games and anime series during this time. I especially remember the Smash Bros. Brawl version. And in retrospect, it seems that the animations are more remembered than the dances themselves. However, while on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at yet another dance trend that had its beginning on Nico Nico Douga, one that a lot of you likely remember.
GoldenEye glitch. I don't know this.
This
number 3 song on my top 100 anime opening. Check it out. Check it out. Actually, I should link it. I forgot to link it. Well, I did link it earlier in the stream, actually. Where is it? Right here. Here you go. Here it is, if you guys want to see my 100 anime opening. Here we go. Even when many people was conscious there's a meme technically ingenuine, people in 2000s are genuine. A bit more, yeah.
Whatever this is should look familiar to a good number of you out there watching. If not, then boy howdy, get ready for one of the most bizarre memes in the history of bizarre memes. Actually, most memes are weird and they're only getting weird. GoldenEye 007, a video game in 1997 for the Nintendo 64. It was groundbreaking for its time and was a pioneer in the FPS genre. Despite that, it's an old game and has its fair share of bugs and glitches. Most notably, this one.
You can't Is that kind
This bizarre glitch has characters jerking around all over the place. The glitch itself was taken note of online as early as the year 2000 and isn't super difficult to encounter. As a matter of fact, the 2000 mention even tells you how to encounter it, as all that's required is something called cartridge tilting, or slowly lifting one side of the N64 card so it's inserted at an angle. Doing this to the left side of a GoldenEye cart when encountering a specific guard will cause the glitch.
Wow.
It's actually triggered with a number of NPCs. Now, at some point in 2007, following demonstrations of the glitch surfacing on YouTube and Nico Nico, online users decided it looked like some kind of bizarre dance. And thus, the original upload of the glitch paired with music was uploaded. This video, titled 007 GoldenEye Chaos Carnival Get Done, includes the name of the song that is now synonymous with the meme. This song being Promise by Komi Hirose, also released in 1997. Hirose was already established as a popular singer before the glitch, having been signed to Victor Entertainment in 1992. Promise was her second single, her first being back in 1993. And at around the same time as Promise was released, her song Groovy was made the first ending theme to the Cardcaptor Sakura anime a year later in 1998. And random fact about Hirose, her songs have been featured in various commercials for the winter sports store Alpen. She's had kind of a little partnership with them since 1993. And because people in Japan are now accustomed to hearing her music on TV in the winter, she's been dubbed the Queen of Winter by the public. But yeah, because Promise and all the other music I mentioned by Hirose is very much copyrighted, I can't play any of it here. Her music is on Spotify though if you want to listen to it officially. Back to the meme though, the combination of the bizarre glitch and an upbeat pop song that matches it perfectly made the 2007 video take off in popularity.
Yeah, okay, I've seen this
Definitely
one.
did not end there though. It was about a year after the initial upload with the song Promise synced to the glitch in 2008 when the dance video started surfacing. The very first being by a user named Lamaze P, a famous
Lamaze
anime
P.
creator also
Yes.
responsible for the original Polpipo and Fukireta videos.
Yes.
Lamaze created this simple animation, a 2chan shift JIS art doing a choreographed rendition of the glitch. Or shift JIS, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. From here, a large number of real people began creating their own take on the dance. Because the human body cannot levitate and contort in the same way as the actual glitch, this dance was made possible with thanks to creative video editing and jump cuts. The trend remained popular throughout 2008 and 2009, but really took off when overseas internet users took note of the dance and started covering it on YouTube as well. But now comes a bit of bad news. Remember a little while ago when I said that Komi Hirose was signed by Victor Entertainment. Well, they're a pretty big record label in Japan, much like how Toei is to anime. That, and the fact that Japan is very strict about copyright in general,
so
led to mass
takedowns
takedowns of the original Gedan videos sometime in the mid-2010s. Because of this, a huge chunk of the original NND videos, including the original 2000...
The amount of classic stuff being deleted for this kind of reason, I mean, again, literally today I'm having this happen to me, right? Like, last few days I was so motivated to do a top 100 video, and it took like a good amount of work to make it, and I uploaded all IP yesterday, and then I woke up to a copyright strike this morning for one song, the blindest opening, and it just feels so useless to even try to do anything on YouTube sometime. I mean, I'm saying that as a reaction channel, so, you know, it might sound stupid, but
2008
yeah.
NND upload by Ramazepi are lost media. That original Ramazepi video is on YouTube, but the original upload is lost, and a lot of the video covers that people dance to are gone for good, as in they're not on YouTube. I don't want to sound like a broken record as this video goes on, but a tremendous amount of content from Nico Nico Douga is completely lost now, and this is among the biggest casualties next to lost Vocaloid songs. It's very unfortunate, but a lot of these videos just don't exist anymore. Though, currently, in a time that embraces dance trends and using copyrighted music under certain terms, these dance parodies are still made today. Animated parodies have come about as well, and the more recent installments in this old trend have been preserved on YouTube, for the most part.
It's really a shame, man. Final showcase, okay. The amount of stuff constantly being deleted. It's a shame. Enemy controller Kaiba. The octopus and Marine. Okay. I see. Of course. Of course they would use Marine in a tentacle scenario. Yeah,
I think this one was hilarious.
Wow.
Like, little teenager me would think this video, or rather the remixes of these videos with this clip, were so funny that I would pause the video because I was so out of breath laughing, and I would not want to miss any more of it because it was just so darn funny. I was just that entertained by it. Enemy Controller is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It was famously featured in Yu-Gi-Oh's original Duel Monsters series by the character Seto Kaiba. Well, Kaiba is a pretty extra dude himself.
It's true. I went to a great deal of trouble recreating the Pharaoh's deck, strategies, even his perfectly coiffed hair. In fact, that part is what took the longest.
The famous Enemy Controller scene was an additional level of silliness. It's a giant floating controller. It looks kind of like a Sega Genesis controller, and
I still need to try to get more into Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah. I mean, I've only seen the original anime.
Kaiba yelled out controller commands as if he was trying to reach the secret menu in an old Sonic game. The silliness was most certainly taken note of by people on the internet, as well as Kaiba's intense voiceover. For that reason, it made for prime real estate for mad remixes. The first being a remix of Marisa Stole the Precious Thing that was titled Kaiba Entered the Horrible Command. Many more remixes would follow.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I might have seen this meme. Shuzumatsuoka, I know about him, we can pass. Mike Donald, I know about him. What about this? I don't know this. Okusenmen.
The Japanese word okusenman is an interesting word in itself. It literally means 100 million. However, because the number is so ridiculously large, I've seen the term okusenman used to communicate something that is limitless. With that said, our next topic is a famous video known as Omoide wa okusenman, aka 100 million memories or limitless memories. Typically referred to as simply Okusenman, the basis of the video itself is a popular medley of songs from the game Mega Man 2, primarily the theme of Dr. Wily's castle with bits of the song Blue Fang peppered in. While these songs originated from a Famicom NES game with no lyrics, fans wrote their own to go over Okusenman. In early 2007, a user named Gom uploaded the song medley, providing their own vocals.
Maybe. Oh, yes. I recognize it now. Yes.
The lyrics did not describe the game itself or the story.
We listened to it when we did the Nico Nico stream,
and long past childhood are communicated. The speaker comes to the realization that his life, as well as the life of his childhood friends, are vastly different than what it once was, and that they can never go back to their childhood. In 2007, children who grew up in the 1980s with the early Mega Man games were now all young adults. When correlating the time period with the song, it makes it pretty clear that the speaker was someone still adjusting to the adult world and trying to hold on to the child they once were. It's a very touching song, especially listening to it as an adult. The best-known video covering Omoide wa Okusenman was uploaded in 2007 by a user named Chromes. This version includes a flash animation music video. Not long after the original upload, a version with English subtitles made its way onto YouTube as well, making the version with the flash animation the best known overseas.
Nice.
This scene, particularly at the end of the animated version, where the adult sees his child self, has always stuck with me. The original upload and cover by Gom remains the best remembered in Japan, however. It surpassed 5 million views back in 2011. Today, it sits at over 8 million.
It's a lot. Kumikyoku. I think I know this. No?
Ah yes, Kumikyoku. What Kumikyoku essentially is a series of music medleys uploaded to Nico Nico Douga. They were originally uploaded by a user named Shimo. In the 5 years following the initial upload of Kumikyoku, many other users would do their own take on it and do different remixes of the song. You simply cannot talk about Nico Nico Douga and the influential content of Nico Nico Douga without talking about Kumikyoku. The same goes for another really well-known music medley on Nico Nico Douga, and we will get there. A typical Kumikyoku upload will have many different songs, oftentimes
Gum from Oniworks. Oh, that's cool.
tunes that were popular from that particular era, being the mid to late 2000s. Sometimes this would be anime themes, such as the immensely popular theme from Lucky Star. Video game OSTs were common as well, such as that of Mega Man and Final Fantasy. These various tunes would be transitioned between and uploaded alongside some swirly visuals onto Nico Nico.
Yeah.
What really led to this series exploding in popularity are the sheer amount of people who would write lyrics, sing vocals, or play instruments alongside these medleys and upload their own take on it to the site. Some would even go on to create their own medleys featuring different songs. In the past, these songs have been adapted into memes, where pockets of smaller communities would try to make the medleys out of audio samples from other places, such as
I did one of them, yeah.
Jack Black on Sesame Street or sound effects from Super Mario World.
Ryu Seigan.
This is yet another famous remix and possibly the most chaotic of them all. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's start with the basics. Ryu Seigun means meteor shower in Japanese, and the song mashup itself is basically a meteor shower of different clips and references. There are a lot of NND references in here, and a lot of them also come from Tuchan, but there's a lot of anime references that are also recognizable without understanding the meme context. Long story short, there's a lot of stuff in here. In total, there are at least 50 different pieces of media incorporated into a short 13 minutes. I found a 2009 blog post listing the most prominent clips. Notable songs and references include the openings to Lucky Star and Haruhi Suzumiya,
Always.
two anime that were huge in the late 2000s, the song that played during the school days' nice boat footage, Danjo, Okusenman, the I'm Loving It McDonald's slogan, the Action 52 game Cheetah Men, and of course our beloved Miku. This combination makes Ryusei-gun basically the official theme of NND. It even has its own logo and mascot. Now, the song itself isn't a remixed version of any already existing song. It's a medley of different songs that in itself creates its own song. Also, there's two versions, the original Ryusei-gun and the Chaos version, both released by the user Shimo in 2008. The latter is better known because of its re-upload to YouTube, and it's often the main result when Ryusei-gun is searched in English. But now, here comes some more bad news. I bet you can see where this is going by now.
Copyright bullshit.
That's right. The original upload is gone. While re-uploads have garnered millions of views, the original upload by Shimo is gone for good. The oldest upload to YouTube discusses what a big deal this was, as the song was among the best known and most loved on the platform. And remember, despite the fact that re-uploads do exist, the original on-screen comments are lost for good. That was a huge part of the Nico Nico experience. Part of the reason why NND is so far from its glory days now is due to things like this. But
I mean, it's literally the same with YouTube. Huh? The only difference is that YouTube is a much bigger website, huh? And literally, like, everybody in the world has nowhere else to go. Well, except the Chinese. The Chinese have, like, you know, Bilibili and I think 2 or 3 other, like, massive video sites, and they don't use YouTube. Huh? But for the rest of the world, we're kind of stuck with YouTube, huh? And YouTube does the same thing. I mean, every year there's ton of like classic old videos that get deleted for copyright and other reason, and if no one saved them, I mean, internet history is lost.
yeah, the YouTube re-upload has been going strong for just about 15 years now, so feel free to check that out if you've never seen this chaotic feat in editing.
I've watched like 3 episodes, I think, of Azumanga never really made it through yet. I kind of want to finish it.
Azumanga Daioh, a gag manga turned anime series by Kiyohiko Azuma, may be the most memeable anime in the history of animes to ever be memed. It's a slice of life series that walked so later series like Haruhi Suzumiya and Lucky Star could run.
I often see it listed as kind of like the originator, like it's early 2000s, right? And the originator of what would become like the moe cute girl anime comedy show. I mean, it seems like it. Delete is automatic and Nico Nico is manual.
Hello, everyone. How are
I've seen
you?
this.
Fine, thank you.
Now, as far as my statement with anime and being memeable and all that, that's certainly debatable, but I don't know any other anime that's as continuously memed. Memes have been coming out from the series creation all the way to like a day ago on Instagram and TikTok. And this anime only had 1 season and it was years ago. It's also the anime that started the waifu phrasing within the otaku culture that originated from a scene in Azumanga Daioh. But yeah, Azumanga Daioh parodies and memes were a big part of NND in its prime. A common trend of the early NND era was parodying the opening. This ranged from mad videos parodying the opening to whole-ass fan animations recreating the opening with characters from other series. My favorite of these was a recreation of the opening that used characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me tell you, I am so glad this one is still up in its original form on NND. A rare Nico Nico W during these trying times. But what makes me so very sad is how I can no longer find like half of these fan-created openings. Many were so beautifully animated and among my favorite videos to watch around 2010, 2011-ish, and they're now just gone. I mean, just look at the Know Your Meme page here. Something that hasn't been updated in quite some time. I mean, with just this specific meme niche alone, look how many casualties NND has seen over the years. My goodness. Azumanga Daioh is funny and silly. It's really funny to see how animators made use of the references from the other series within the opening. It was a really cool trend. Another well-known Azumanga Daioh thing on NND was a little animation trend known as caparina. The word caparina, that I'm probably butchering in itself, is a Brazilian mixed alcoholic beverage. The song itself, the one played in the videos, was released in 2005 by the German artist Karinho. The video itself is a looped clip of the Azumanga Daioh character Tomo waving her finger and shaking her hip. It's a simple dance trend very similar to Caramel Dansen, where various artists and animators would go at animating different characters doing a trendy little dance. My personal favorite is this one with Gary Oak from Pokemon. I just love the little animation references within it. It's very well done.
Good stuff. Oh, Frenchman can, yeah. We know about this. We know about this. Oh, and that's it. That's the last thing she covers. Okay. Well, this was definitely like a much more, like video for someone who doesn't know anything about Nico Nico, so maybe it wasn't the best choice for me. I'll try to see later on if I can find some people who do videos that go much more in depth on the culture of Nico Nico. Obviously this is good as an opener, but I guess I already knew most of these, so maybe there's some channel that do like deep dive in different side of the culture, but still a nice little opening style video for what Nico Nico is about. I enjoyed it. Okay, so yeah, that's all the videos I wanted to watch for today. Tomorrow we're gonna be watching videos about anime, I believe. Wait, what did I put tomorrow again? Let me see. Yeah, that's right. Videos about anime, so should be interesting. And the day after that we're gonna watch like otaku related videos. A video about like anime convention, one about visual novel. I mean, yeah, we're basically doing today and the next 2 days stream about Japan, learning things as always, which I enjoy, yeah. But yeah, sorry again for the internet problem today. That was kind of a pain. Hope you enjoyed the stream anyway. Do check out my top 100. I really wanted to post it on YouTube, but it's not happening. I got a copyright strike and I'm very sad, so watch it on Bilibili, yeah. I'll try maybe uploading it to Dailymotion because Bilibili is kind of a pain. If you don't have an account, you can only watch it in 360p and it's not the best. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for coming as always. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day, good night, good morning as always. And I will see you guys tomorrow. See you.